And welcome to Opera House Arts 2020 Shakespeare in Stonington virtual reading of Twelfth Night, or What You Will, by William Shakespeare. My name is Peter Richards, and I am the chair of the Transition Task Force at Opera House Arts. On behalf of the entire Opera House team, I would like to thank you for being here with us this evening at our first ever live virtual event. We are truly delighted to share this experience with you as we find new ways to gather together to celebrate the performing arts. Thank you always for your support of Opera House Arts. We appreciate it now more than ever. I'd now like to introduce Linda Nelson, founding executive director of OHA and current task force member, who will share with you some more details about this evening's performance. Linda?
Thank you, Peter. And welcome, everybody. I'm here welcoming you to the Opera House. I'm sitting on the stage of our beloved theater, and we miss you. I'm honored to be here tonight to participate in this, and we miss having you in front of us in our beautiful little magic box. As Peter said, however, it's our job to figure out the best way we can bring us together and the best way we can connect us in and through the arts. So that's what we're trying to do tonight. We're trying to invent new forms. And one of the best ways that we can invent new forms in all of our communities is by working with artists, because that's what artists do. We invent new ways of thinking about things and new ways of doing things. This is the 20th anniversary year of Shakespeare in Stonington. We could not miss this year. And we might have if it hadn't been for co-founder Julia Whitworth, who came to us with this idea to do a reading, to do the best we can do through this new technology and bring Shakespeare to you for the 20th consecutive year. There are 4 hallmarks of Shakespeare in Stonington I really want to emphasize that have been important to us from the start. One is the comedy throughout Shakespeare, and we have loved playing up the comedy, and our directors and our artists have loved that. Another that few people knew about is that there's so much music in Shakespeare, and tonight you're going to get to hear us again set some of Shakespeare's lyrics to original music by one of the artists participating tonight. A third thing is the physicality, and that's the hardest thing tonight for us to bring to you is the physicality, because we're not on the stage and we can't tumble around with the great physicality that many of these actors bring, but they're doing a great job of bringing it to you on the flat screen. And the fourth and final thing is the most important thing for tonight for a reading, which is the language. We always knew in Stonington that if we could really put Shakespeare's language in ways that had meaning and relevance to us, that we could return Shakespeare to the people, which is exactly what we hope to do in 20 years of Shakespeare in Stonington. So these 20 years have been possible thanks to these fabulous relationships with these actors that we've been honored to build and deepen over the years. And without their loyalty and their generosity and their trust, this opera house and the amazing original art that has been created here would not be possible. And one of the most important artists that we have worked with is our co-founder of Shakespeare in Stonington, tonight's director, Julia Whitworth, and many members of tonight's cast as well. We thank you all for reinventing theater with us tonight. And I want to turn it over to Julia to get us going. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Linda. And thank you all audience members, community members who have so warmly welcomed we artists onto your island for years and years. 20 years ago, I convinced 5 New York actors to go to a place they had never heard of in a theater that had not yet had a producing record or reputation, and they fell in love with Stonington and Deer Isle. In the 20 years since, the leadership at OHA has created a community of artists, and we have all been blessed by one another and by the magic of that theater. 5 days ago, some of us gathered on Zoom to see what we could do in just a couple of rehearsals. And it's been a magical week. I was thinking about that first summer We waited and broke it to those New York actors that there was no cell service on the island except for in maybe one spot at the top of the hill. And look at us now, all on Zoom, spread all over the country, sharing this night, hopefully a magical night with you. So thank you for your vision, Shakespeare, the Opera House Arts. Thank you for your support, Stonington. Thank you, artists and actors who've gone on this little ride this week. And now, with no further ado, we hope you will enjoy Twelfth Night, or What You Will.
Give me excess of it. That's the thing that the night may speak, so die. That's strain again. It hath a dying fall. Oh, it came over my ears like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets, stealing and dipping over. Enough! No more. It is not so sweet now as it was before. Oh, spirit of love, how quick and fresh art thou, that notwithstanding thy capacity receiveth as the sea. So full of shapes is fancy, that it alone is high fantastical.
Will you go hunt, my lord?
What's that?
The Hart.
Why, so I do, the noblest that I have. Oh, when mine eyes did see Olivia first, methought she purged the air of pestilence. That instant was I turned into a hart, and my desires, like fell and cruel hounds, e'er since pursue me. How now? What news from her?
So please, my lord, I might not be admitted, but from her handmaid do return this answer. The element itself, till 7 years he shall not behold her face at ample view, but like a cloistress she will veiled walk, and water once a day her chamber roused with eye offending brine. All this to season a brother's dead love, which she would keep fresh and lasting in her sad remembrance.
Oh, she that hath a heart of that fine frame, to pay this debt of love but to a brother. How will she love when the rich golden shaft hath killed the flock of all affections else that live in her? When liver, brain, and heart, these sovereign thrones are all supplied and filled, her sweet perfections with one self-king. Away before me with sweet beds of flowers. Love thoughts lie rich when canopied with bowers.
What country, friend, is this?
This is Illyria, lady.
And what should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium. Oh, perchance he is not drowned. What think you, sailor?
It is perchance that you yourself were saved.
Oh, my poor brother. And so perchance may he.
True, madam. And to comfort you with chance, assure yourself after our ship did split, when you and those poor number saved with you hung on our driving boat, I saw your brother. Most provident in peril, bind himself, courage and hope both teaching him the practice to a strong mast that lived upon the sea, where like Arion on the dolphin's back, I saw him hold acquaintance with the waves, so long as I could see.
For saying so, there's gold. Mine own escape unfoldeth to my hope, whereto thy speech serves for authority the like of him. Knowest thou this country?
Oh, aye, madam, well, for I was bred and born not 3 hours' travel from this very place.
Who governs here?
A noble duke in nature and in name.
What is his name?
Orsino.
Orsino. I have heard my father name him. He was a bachelor then.
And so is now, or was so very late. For but a month ago I went from hence, and then was fresh in murmur, as you know, what great ones do, the less will prattle of, that he did seek the fair love of fair Olivia.
What's she?
A virtuous maid, the daughter of a count that died some 12 months since, then leaving her in the protection of his son, her brother, who shortly also died. For whose dear love, they say, she hath abjured the company and sight of men.
Oh, that I served that lady, and might not be delivered to the world till I had made mine own occasion mellow what my estate is.
That were hard to compass, because she will admit no kind of suit. No, not the Duke's.
There is a fair behavior in thee, Captain. And though that nature with a beauteous wall doth oft close in pollution, yet of thee I will believe thou hast a mind that suits with this thy fair and outward character. I prithee, and I'll pay thee bounteously, conceal me what I am, and be my aid for such disguise as haply shall become the form of my intent. I'll serve this Duke. Thou shalt present me as a eunuch to him. It may be worth thy pains, for I can sing and speak to him in many sorts of music that will allow me very worth his service. What else mayhap to time will I commit, only shape thou thy silence to my wit.
Be you his eunuch, and your mute I'll be. When my tongue blabs, then let mine eyes not see.
I thank thee. Lead me on.
What a plague means my niece to put the death of her brother thus?
By my troth.
Care is an enemy to life.
By my troth, Sir Toby, you must come in earlier nights. Your cousin, my lady, takes great exceptions to your ill hours.
Why, let her accept before accepted.
Aye, but you must confine yourself within the modest limits of order.
Confine? I'll confine myself no finer than I am. These clothes are good enough to drink in, and so be these boots too, and they be not. Let them hang themselves in their own straps.
That quaffing and drinking will undo you. I heard my lady talk of it yesterday, and of a foolish knight that you brought in one night here to be her wooer.
Who? Sir Andrew Agacheek?
Aye, he.
Why, he has 3,000 ducats a year.
Aye, but he'll have a year in all these ducats. He's a very fool and a prodigal.
Why that you say so? He plays on the viol de gamba and speaks 3 or 4 languages word for word without book, and hath all the good gifts of nature.
He hath indeed all most natural, for besides that he's a fool, he's a great quarreler, and but that he hath the gift of a coward to allay the gust he hath in quarreling. 'Tis thought among the prudent he would quickly have the gift of a grave.
By this hand, they are scoundrels and subtractors that say so of him. Who are they?
They that add, moreover, he's drunk nightly in your company.
With drinking healths to my niece. I'll drink to her as long as there's a passage in my throat, and drink in Illyria. He's a coward and a coistrel that will not drink to my niece till his brains turn of the toe like a parish top. But wench, Castellano Volto, for here comes Sir Andrew Agathes.
Sir Toby Belch! How now, Sir Toby Belch?
Greet Sir Andrew.
Oh, bless you, fair shrew.
And you too, sir.
Accost! Sir Andrew, accost!
What's that?
My niece's chambermaid.
Good Mistress Accost. I desire better acquaintance.
My name is Mary, sir.
Good Mistress Mary Accost.
You mistake, knight. Accost is to front her, board her, woo her, assail her.
By my troth, I would not undertake her in this company. Is that the meaning of accost?
Fare you well, gentlemen.
Now that apart so, Sir Andrew, where thou mightst never draw sword again.
And you, part so, mistress, I would never draw sword again. Fair lady, do you think you have fools in hand?
Sir, I have not you by the hand.
Mary, but you shall have, and here's my hand.
Now, sir, thought is free. Mary, now, I let go your hand, and I'm barren.
Oh, knight, thou last a cup of canary. When did I see thee so put down?
Never in your life, I think, unless you see canary put me down. Methinks sometimes I have no more wit than a Christian or an ordinary man has. But I am a great eater of beef, and I believe that does harm to my wit.
No question.
And I thought that I'd forswear it. I'll ride home tomorrow, Sir Toby.
Pourquoi, my dear knight?
What is pourquoi? Do or not do? I had bestowed that time in the tongues that I have in fencing, dancing, and bear baiting. Oh, had I but followed the arts. Faith, I'll home tomorrow, Sir Toby. Your niece will not be seen, or if she be, it's 4 to 1 she'll none of me. The Duke himself here hard by woos her.
She'll none of the Duke. She'll not match above her degree. I've heard her swear it. Tough. There's life in it, man.
I'll stay a month longer. I'm a fellow of the strangest mind in the world. I delight in masks and revels, sometimes all together.
Art thou good at these cookshaw's this night?
As any man in Illyria.
What is thy excellence in a galliard, knight?
Faith, I can cut a caper, and I think I have the backtrack simply as strong as any man in Illyria.
Wherefore are these things hid? Wherefore have these gifts a curtain before them? Why dost thou not go to a church in a galliard and come home in a coranto? My very walk should be a jig. I would not so much as make water, but in a syncopace. What dost thou mean? Is it a world to hide virtues in? I did think, by the excellent constitution of thy leg, it was formed under the star of a galliard.
Aye, 'tis strong, and it does indifferent well in a flame-colored stock. Oh, shall we set upon some revels?
What shall we do else? Were we not born under Taurus?
Horace, that sides and Hart?
No, sir. It is legs and thighs. Let me see the paper. Fire! Excellent! Excellent!
If the Duke continue these favors towards you, Cesaro, you are like to be much advanced. He have known you but 3 days, and already you are no stranger.
You either fear his humor or my negligence that you call in question the continuance of his love. Is he inconstant, sir, in his favors?
No, believe me.
I thank you.
Who saw Cesario?
On your attendance, my lord, here.
Stand you a while aloof. Cesario, thou knowest no less but all. I have unclasped to thee the book even of my secret soul. Therefore, good youth, address thy gate unto her, Be not denied access. Stand at her doors and tell them there thy fixed foot shall grow till thou have audience.
Sure, my noble lord, if she be so abandoned to her sorrow as it is spoke, she never will admit me.
Be clamorous and leap all civil bounds rather than make unprofited return.
Say I do speak with her, my lord, what then?
Oh, then unfold the passion of my love. Surprise her with discourse of my dear faith. It shall become me well to act my woes. She will attend it better in thy youth than in a nuncio of more grave aspect.
I think not so, my lord.
Dear lad, believe it. For they shall yet belie thy happy years that say thou art a man. Diane's lip is not more smooth and rubious. Thy small pipe is as the maiden's organ, shrill and sound, and all is semulative of a woman's part. I know thy constellation is right apt for this affair. Some 4 or 5 attend him, all if you will, for I myself am best when least in company. Prosper well in this, and thou shalt live as freely as thy lord to call his fortunes thine.
I'll do my best to woo your lady. Yet a barful strife. Whoe'er I woo, myself would be his wife.
Nay, either tell me where thou hast been, or I will not open my lips so wide as a bristle may enter in way of thy excuse. My lady will hang thee for thy absence.
Let her hang me. He that is well hanged in this world needs fear no colors.
Make that good.
He shall see none to fear.
I can tell thee where that saying was born of, I fear no colors.
Where, good Mistress Mary?
In the wars, and that you may be so bold to say so in your foolery.
Well, God give them wisdom that have it, and those that are fools, let them use their talents.
Yet you will be hanged for being so long absent, or to be turned away. Is not that as good as a hanging to you?
Many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage, and for turning away, let summer bear it out.
You are resolute then?
Not so neither, but I am resolved on 2 points.
That if one break, the other will hold, or if both break, your trousers fall?
Apt, in good faith, very apt. If Sir Toby would leave drinking, thou were as witty a piece of Eve's flesh as any in Illyria.
Peace, you rogue, no more of that. Here comes my lady. Make your excuse wisely, you were best.
Wit, and it be thy will, put me into good fooling. God bless thee, lady.
Take the fool away.
Do you not hear, fellows? Take away the lady.
Go to, you're a dry fool. I'll know more of you. Besides, you grow dishonest.
2 faults, Madonna, that drink and good counsel will amend. Forgive the dry fool drink, then is the fool not dry. Bid the dishonest man mend himself. If he mend, he is no longer dishonest. If he cannot, let the tailor mend him. Anything that's mended is but patched. Virtue that transgresses is but patched with sin, and sin that amends is but patched with virtue. If that simple syllogism will serve, so. The lady bid to take away the fool. Therefore I say again, take her away.
Sir, I bade them take away you.
Misprision in the highest degree, lady. Cucullus non facit manocium. That's as much as to say as, I wear not motley in my brain. Good Madonna, give me leave to prove you a fool.
Can you do it?
Dexterously, good Madonna.
Make your proof.
I must catechize you for it, Madonna. Good my mouse of virtue, answer me.
Well, sir, for want of other idleness, abide your proof.
Good Madonna, why mourn'st thou?
Good fool, for my brother's death.
I think his soul is in hell, Madonna.
I know his soul is in heaven, fool.
The more fool, Madonna, to mourn for your brother's soul being in heaven. Take away the fool, gentlemen.
what think you of this fool, Malvolio? Doth he not mend?
Yes, and shall do till the pangs of death shake him. Infirmity that decays the wise doth ever make the better fool.
God send you, sir, a speedy infirmity for the better increasing of your folly. Sir Toby will be sworn that I am no fox, but he will not pass his word for tuppence that you are no fool.
How say you to that, Malvolio?
I marvel your ladyship takes delight in such a barren rascal. I saw him put down the other day with an ordinary fool that has no more brain than a stone. Look you now, he's out of his guard already. Unless you laugh and minister occasion to him, he is gagged. I protest, I take these wise men that crow so at these set kind of fools no better than the fool Zane is.
Oh, you are sick of self-love, Malvolio, and taste with a distempered appetite. To be generous, guiltless, and of free disposition is to take those things for bird bolts that you deem cannon bullets. There is no slander in an allowed fool, though he do nothing but scold, nor no scolding in a known discreet man, though he do nothing but reprove.
Madam, there is at the gate a young gentleman much desires to speak with you.
From the Duke Orsino, is it?
I know not, madam. 'Tis a fair young man and well attended.
Who of my people hold him in delay?
Sir Toby, madam, your kinsman.
Fetch him off, I pray you. He speaks nothing but madman. Fie on him. Go you, Malvolio. If it be a suit from the Duke, I am sick, or not at home. What you will to dismiss it. Now you see, sir, how your fooling grows old, and people dislike it.
Thou hast spoke for us, Madonna, as if thy eldest son should be a fool. Here comes one of thy kin.
Oh, by mine honor, half drunk. What is he at the gate, cousin?
A gentleman.
A gentleman? What gentleman?
There's a gentleman here. Plague of these pickle herring. Well now, sot.
Good Sir Toby.
Cousin! How have you come so early by this lethargy?
Lechery? I defy lechery. Oh! There's one at the gate.
Ay, Mary, what is he?
Let him be the devil, and he will, I care not. Give me faith, say I. So well. So well.
What's a drunken man like, fool?
Like a drowned man, a fool, and a madman. One draught too many makes him a fool, the second mads him, and the third drowns him.
Well, go thou and seek the coroner and let him sit a my cuz, for he's in the 3rd degree of drink, he's drowned. Go look after him.
He is but mad yet, Madonna, and the fool shall look to the madman.
Madam, yond fellow swears he will speak with you. I told him you were sick. He takes on him to understand so much, and therefore comes to speak with you. I told him you were asleep. He seems to have foreknowledge of that too, and therefore comes to speak with you. What is to be said with him, lady? He's fortified against any denial.
Tell him he shall not speak with me.
Has been told so, and he says he'll stand at your door like a sheriff's post and be the supporter to a bench, but he'll speak with you.
What kind of man is he?
Why, of mankind.
What manner of man?
A very ill manner. He'll speak with you, will you or no?
Of what personage and years is he?
Not yet old enough for a man, nor young enough for a boy. As a squash is before 'tis a peas cod, or a codling when 'tis almost an apple. 'Tis with him in standing water between boy and man. He is very well favored and speaks very shrewishly. One would think his mother's milk were scarce out of him.
Let him approach. Call in my gentlewoman.
Gentlewoman, my lady calls.
Give me my veil. Here, throw it o'er my face. We'll once more hear Orsino's embassy.
The Honorable Lady of the House. Which is she?
Speak to me. I shall answer for her. Your will?
Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty. I pray you, tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn. I am very sensitive even to the least sinister usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied, and that question is out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance, if you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed in my speech.
Are you a comedian?
No, my profound heart. And yet by the very fangs of malice, I swear I am not that I play. Are you the lady of the house?
If I do not usurp myself, I am.
Ah, most certain if you are she, you do usurp yourself, for what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is from my commission. I will on with my speech in your praise, and then show you the heart of my message.
Come to what is important in it. I forgive you the praise.
Alas, I took great pains to study it, and 'tis poetical.
It is the more like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates, and allowed your approach rather to wonder at you than to hear you. If you be not mad, be gone. If you have reason, be brief. 'Tis not that time of moon with me to make one in so skipping a dialogue.
Will you hoist sail, sir? Here lies your way.
No, good swabber, I am to hull here a little longer. Some mollification for your giant, sweet lady. I am a messenger.
Sure, you have some hideous matter to deliver when the courtesy of it is so fearful. Speak your office.
It alone concerns your ear. I bring no overture of war, no taxation of homage. I hold the olive in my hand. My words are as full of peace as matter.
Yet you began rudely. What are you? What would you?
The rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are as secret as maidenhead. To your ears, divinity. To any others, profanation.
Give us the place alone. We will hear this divinity. Now, sir, what is your text?
Most sweet lady.
A comfortable doctrine, and much may be said of it. Where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom? In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method, in the first of his heart.
Oh, I have read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good madam, let me see your faith.
Have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir, such a one I was. This present. Is it not well done?
Excellently done, if God did all.
'Tis in grain, sir, 'twill endure wind and weather.
His beauty truly blent, whose red and white nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruelest she alive, if you will lead these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy.
Oh, sir, I will not be so hard-hearted. I will give out divers schedules of my beauty. It shall be inventoried, and every particle and utensil labeled to my will as item 2 lips, indifferent red, item 2 gray eyes with lids to them, item 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me?
I see you what you are, You are too proud. But if you were the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompensed though you were crowned the nonpareil of beauty.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire.
Your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension and the shape of nature, a gracious person. But yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial, I would find no sense. I would not understand it.
Why? What would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contemned love and sing them loud, even in dead of night. Halloo your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! Oh, you should not rest, but you would pity me.
You might do much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes. Yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
Get you to your lord. I cannot love him. Let him send no more, unless perchance you come to me again to tell me how he takes it. Fare you well. I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me.
I am no feed post, lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love make his heart of flint that you shall love, and let your fervor, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty.
What is your parentage? Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman. Oh, I'll be sworn thou art. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, actions, and spirit do give thee fivefold blazon. Not too fast. Soft, soft. Unless the master were the man. How now? Whew. Even so quickly may one catch the plague? Methinks I feel this youth's perfections with an invisible and subtle stealth to creep in at mine eyes. Well, let it be. What ho, Malvolio?
Here, madam, at your service.
Run after that same peevish messenger, the county's man, Orsino's man. He left this ring behind him, would I or not. Tell him I'll none of it. Desire him not to flatter with his lord, nor hold him up with hopes. I am not for him. If that the youth will come this way again tomorrow, I'll give him reasons for it. Hie thee, Malvolio!
Madam, I will.
I do I know not what, and fear to find mine eye too great a flatterer for my mind. Fate, show thy force. Ourselves we do not owe. What is decreed must be, and be this so.
Will you stay no longer, nor will you not that I go with you?
No, by your patience, no. My stars shine darkly over me.
Let me yet know of whither you are bound.
No, sooth, sir, my determinate voyage is mere extravagancy. But I perceive in you so excellent a touch of modesty that you will not extort from me what I am willing to keep in. Therefore, it charges me in manners the rather to express myself. You must know of me then, Antonio. My name is Sebastian, which I called Rodrigo. My father was that Sebastian of Messaline, whom I know you have heard of. He left behind him myself and a sister, both born in an hour. If the heavens had been pleased, would we had so ended, but you, sir, altered that, for some hour before you took me from the breach of the sea, was my sister drowned.
Alas a day.
A lady, sir, though it was said she much resembled me, was yet of many accounted beautiful. But though I could not with such estimable wonder overfar believe that, yes, thus far I will boldly publish her. She bore a mind that envy could not but call fair. She is drowned already, sir, with salt water, though I seem to drown her remembrance again with more.
Pardon me, sir, your bad entertainment.
Oh, good Antonio, forgive me your trouble.
If you will not murder me for my love, let me be your servant.
If you will not undo what you have done, that is, kill him whom you have recovered, desire it not. Fare ye well at once. My bosom is full of kindness, and yet I am so near the manners of my mother that upon the least occasion more mine eyes will tell tales of me. I am bound for the Duke Orsino's court. Farewell.
The gentleness of all the gods go with thee. I have many enemies in Orsino's court. Else would I very shortly see thee there. But come what may, I do adore thee so that danger shall seem sport, and I will go.
Were not you even now with the Countess Olivia?
Even now, sir, on a moderate pace, I have since arrived hither.
She returns this ring to you, sir. You might have saved me my pains to have taken it away yourself. She adds, moreover, that you should put your lord into a desperate assurance she will none of him. And one thing more, that you be never so hardy to come again in his affairs unless it be to report your lord's taking of this, receive it so.
She took the ring of me, I'll none of it.
Come, sir. You peevishly threw it to her, and her will is it should be so returned. If it be worth stooping for, there it lies in your eye. If not, be it his that finds it.
I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid my outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me. Indeed, so much that sure methought her eyes had lost her tongue, for she did speak in starts. Distractedly, she loves me, sure. Oh, the cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lord's ring. Why, he sent her none. I am the man. Oh, if it be so, as it is, oh, dear lady, she were better love a dream. Disguise, I see thou art a wickedness, wherein the pregnant enemy does much. How easy is it for the proper false in women's waxen hearts to set their forms? Alas, our frailty is the cause, not we. For such as we are made of, such we be. Oh, how will this fadge? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much on him, and she, mistaken, seems to dote on me. What will become of this? As I am man, my state is desperate for my master's love. As I am woman, now alas the day, what thriftless sighs shall poor Olivia breathe? Oh, Time, thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie.
Approach, Sir Andrew. Not to be abed after midnight is to be up betimes. And deluculo surgere, thou knowest.
Nay, by my troth, I know not, but I do know to be up late is to be up late.
A false conclusion. I hate it as an unfilled can. To be up after midnight and to go to bed then is early, so that to go to bed after midnight is to go to bed betimes. Does not our life consist of the four elements?
So they say, but I think it rather consists of eating and drinking.
Ah, thou art a scholar. Let us therefore eat and drink. Maria, I say, a stoup of wine.
Here comes the fool in faith.
How now, my hearts?
Welcome, ass. Now, let's have a catch.
Oh, by my troth, the fool has an excellent breast. I had rather than 40 shillings I had such a leg and so sweet a breath to sing as the fool hath.
A song. Come on. There's a sixpence for you. Let's have a song.
There's a kestrel with me too. If one night give
Would you have a love song or a song of good life?
A love song. Hey, love song.
I care not for good life.
Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low. Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journeys end in lovers meeting, every wise man's son doth know.
Excellent, good in faith.
Good. Good.
What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure. In delay there lies no plenty. Then come kiss me, sweet and 20. Youth's a stuff will not endure.
Of mellifluous voice says I'm a true knight.
Good contagious breath.
Very sweet and contagious in faith.
To hear it by the nose, it is dulcet and contagion. But shall we make the welkin dance indeed? Shall we rouse the night owl in a catch that will draw 3 souls out of one weaver? Shall we do that?
And you love me, let's do it. I'm a dog and a catch.
Hey, lady, sir, and some dogs will catch well.
Most certain, a letter catch be. Thou, knave, thou.
Hold thy peace, thou knave! Knight, I shall be constrained in it to call thee knave, knight.
'Tis not the first time I have constrained one to call me knave. Begin, fool. It begins. Hold thy peace.
I shall never begin if I hold my peace.
Good in faith. Come, begin.
Hold thy peace, thou knave! Hold thy peace, thou knave!
What caterwauling do you keep here? If my lady have not called up her steward Malvolio and bid him turn you out of doors, never trust me.
My lady's a Catayan. We are politicians. Malvolio's a pig Ramsay. And 3 merry men be we. Am I not consanguineous? Am I not of her blood? Tilly Valley, lady. There dwelt a man in Babylon, lady.
Bestrew me, the knight's an admirable fool.
He does well enough if he be disposed, and so do I too. He does it with a better grace, but I do it more natural.
Oh, the 12th day of December.
For the love of God, peace.
Masters, are you mad, or what are you? Have ye no wit, manners, nor honesty, but to gabble like tinkers at this time of night? Do ye make an alehouse of my lady's house, that ye squeak out your cosier's catches without any mitigation or remorse of voice? Is there no respect of place, persons, nor time in you?
We did keep time, sir. You know, catches. Look up!
Sir Toby, I must be round with you. My lady bade me tell you that though she harbors you as her kinsman, she's nothing allied to your disorders. If you can separate yourself and your misdemeanors, you are welcome to the house. If not, and it would please you to take leave of her, she is very willing to bid you farewell.
Farewell, dear Hart, since I must needs be gone.
Pray, good Sir Toby.
His days are almost done.
Is it even so?
But I will never die.
But Toby, there you lie.
This is much credit to you.
Shall I bid him go? Shall I bid him and spare not?
Oh, no, you dare not.
Oh, sir, ye lie. Art thou any more than a steward? Dost thou think that because thou art virtuous, there shall be no more cakes and ale? Go, sir, rub your chain with crumbs. A stoup of wine, Maria!
Mistress Mary, if you prized my lady's favor at anything more than contempt, you would not give means for this uncivil rule. She shall know of it by this hand.
Go, shake your ears.
'Twere as good a deed to drink when hungry as to challenge him the field and then break promise with him and make a fool of him.
Do it, knight. I'll write thee a challenge, or I'll deliver thy indignation to him by word of mouth.
Sweet Sir Toby, be patient for tonight. Since the youth of the Dukes was today with my lady, she is much out of quiet. Or Monsieur Malvolio, let me alone with him. If I do not gull him into a common recreation, do not think I have wit enough to lie straight in my bed. I know I can do it.
Possess us. Tell us something of him.
Marry, sir, sometimes he is a kind of Puritan.
Oh, if I thought that, I'd beat him like a dog.
What, for being a Puritan? Thy exquisite reason, dear knight.
I have no exquisite reason for it, but I have reason good enough.
The devil a Puritan that he is, or anything constantly but a time pleaser. An affectioned ass that cons state without book and utters it by great swaths, and the best persuasive of himself, so crammed, as he thinks, with excellencies that it is his grounds of faith that all that look on him love him. And on that vice in him will my revenge find notable cause to work.
What wilt thou do?
I will drop in his way some obscure epistles of love wherein by the shape of his leg, the manner of his gait, the expression of his eye, forehead, and complexion, he shall find himself most feelingly personated. I can write very much like my lady, your niece. On a forgotten matter, we can hardly make distinction of our hands.
Excellent. I smell a device.
How do I know too?
He shall think, by the letters that thou wilt drop, that they come from my niece, and that she's in love with him.
My purpose is indeed a horse of that color.
And your horse now would make him an ass.
Ass, I doubt not.
Oh, 'twill be admirable.
Lord Royal, I warrant you. I know my physic will work on him. I will plant you two, and let the fool make a third, where he shall find the letter. Observe his construction of it. For this night, to bed and dream on the event. Farewell.
Good night, Penthesilea.
Before me, She's a good wench.
She's a beagle, true bred, and one that adores me. What of that?
I was adored once too.
Let's to bed, knight. Thou hast need to send for more money.
Oh, if I cannot recover your niece, I am a foul way out.
Send for more money, knight. If thou hast her not in the end, call me Cut.
If I do not, never trust me. Take it how you will.
Come. I'll go burn some sack. Well, just too late to go to bed now. Come, knight. Come, knight.
Give me some music. Now, good morrow, friends. Now, good Cesario, but that piece of song, that old and antique song we heard last night, methought it did relieve my passion much more than light airs and recollected terms of these most brisk and giddy-paced times. Come, but one verse.
He is not here, so please your lordship that you sing it.
Who was it?
Festi, the jester, my lord. He is about the house.
Seek him out and play the tune a while. Come hither, boy. If ever thou shalt love in the sweet pangs of it, remember me. For such as I am, all true lovers are, unstayed and skittish in all motions else, save in the constant image of the creature that is beloved. How dost thou like this tune?
It gives the very echo to the seat where love is throned.
Thou dost speak masterly. My life upon it, young though thou art, thine eye hath stayed upon some favor that it loves, hath it not, boy?
A little, by your favor.
What kind of woman was it?
Of your complexion.
She is not worth thee then. What years in faith?
About your years, my lord.
Too old, by heaven! Let still the woman take an elder than herself. So wears she to him, so sways she level in her husband's heart. For boy, however we do praise ourselves, our fancies are more giddy and infirm, more longing, wavering, sooner lost and worn than women's are.
I think it well, my lord.
Then let thy love be younger than thyself, or thy affection cannot hold the bent. For women are as roses, whose fair flower, being once displayed, doth fall that very hour.
And so they are. Alas, that they are so, to die even when they to perfection grow.
Oh, fellow, come! The song we had last night. Mark it, Cesario, it is old and plain. The spinsters and the knitters in the sun and the free maids that weave their thread with bones do used to chant it. It is silly sooth and dallies with the innocence of love, like the old adage.
Are you ready, sir?
Aye, prithee sing.
Come away, death, and in sad cypress let me be laid. Fly away, breath. I am slain by a fair, cruel maid. My shroud of white step out with you. Whoa, prepare it. My thought of death, no one so true. Not a flower sweet on my black coffin. Let there be strong, not a friend agree. my poor corpse, where my bones shall be thrown. 1,000 sighs to save. Lay me on where sad true lover never find my grave to be
there. There's for thy pains.
No pain, sir. I take pleasure in singing, sir.
Oh, I'll pay thy pleasure then.
Truly, sir. And pleasure will be paid one time or another.
Give me now leave to leave thee.
Now the melancholy god protect thee, and the tailor make thy doublet of changeable taffeta, for thy mind is a very opal. Farewell.
Once more, Cesario, get thee to yon same sovereign cruelty. Tell her my love, more noble than the world, prizes not quantity of dirty lands. The parts that fortune hath bestowed upon her, tell her I hold as giddily as fortune. But 'tis that miracle and queen of gems that nature pranks her and attracts my soul.
But if she cannot love you, sir?
I cannot be so answered.
But you must. Say that some lady, as perhaps there is, hath for your love as great a pang of heart as you have for Olivia. You cannot love her, you tell her so. Must she not then be answered?
There is no woman's sides can bide the beating of so strong a passion as love doth give my heart. No woman's heart so big to hold so much. They lack retention. Alas, their love may be called appetite. No motion of the liver, but the palate that suffers surfeit, cloyment, and revolt. But mine is at all as hungry as the sea and can digest as much. Make no compare between that love a woman can bear me and that I owe Olivia.
Aye, but I know.
What dost thou know?
Too well what love women to men may owe. In faith, they are as true of heart as we. My father had a daughter, loved a man, as it might be perhaps were I a woman, I should your lordship.
What's her history?
A blank, my lord. She never told her love, but let concealment like a worm i' the bud feed on her damask cheek. She pined in thought, and with a green and yellow melancholy, she sat like patience on a monument, smiling at grief. Was this not love indeed? We men may say more, swear more, but indeed our shows are more than will, for still we prove much in our vows, but little in our love.
But died thy sister of her love, my boy?
I am all the daughters of my father's house. And all the brothers too, and yet I know not. Sir, shall I to this lady?
Aye, that's the theme. To her in haste, give her this jewel. Say my love can give no place, bide no denay.
Come thy ways, signor.
Nay, I'll come. If I lose a scruple of this sport, let me be boiled to death with melancholy.
Wouldst thou not be glad to have the niggardly, rascally sheep-biter come by some notable shame?
I would exult, man.
Shall we not, Sir Andrew?
And we do not, 'tis pity of our lives.
Here comes my little villain. How now, my metal of India?
Get ye all three into the box tree. Malvolio's coming down this walk. He has been yonder in the sun practicing behavior to his own shadow this half hour. Observe him for the love of mockery, for I know this letter will make a contemplative idiot of him. Close in the name of jesting. Lie thou there, for here comes the trout that must be caught with tickling.
Is but fortune. All is fortune. Maria once told me she did affect me, and I have heard herself come thus near that she should fancy it should be one of my complexion. Besides, she uses me with a more exalted respect than anyone else that follows her. What should I think on't?
He's an overweening rogue.
Peace.
Slight. I could so beat the rogue.
Oh, peace, I say.
Oh, to be Count Malvolio.
Rogue, pistol him!
Peace, peace.
There is example for it. The lady of the Strachey married the yeoman of the wardrobe.
Fie on him! Jezebel!
Peace!
Now he's deeply in. Look, how his imagination blows him!
Having been 3 months married to her, sitting in my state.
Oh, for stone bowed! Hit him in the eye!
Calling my officers about me in my branched velvet gown, having come from a daybed where I have left Olivia sleeping.
Fire and brimstone!
Peace, peace.
And then to have the humor of state, and after a demure travel of regard, telling them I know my place, I would they should know theirs, to ask for my kinsman Toby.
Bolts and shackles!
Oh, peace, peace, peace now! Now!
Heaven of my people with an obedient start, make out for him. I frown the while, and perchance wind up my watch, or play with some rich jewel. And Toby approaches and curtsies there to me.
Shall this fellow live?
Do our silence be drawn from us by curse yet, please?
I extend my hand to him thus, quenching my familiar smile with an austere regard of control.
And does not Toby take you a blow of the lips then?
Saying, Cousin Toby, my fortunes having cast me on your niece, give me this prerogative of speech.
What? What?
You must amend your drunkenness.
Out, scab!
Nay, patience, or we break the sinews of our plot.
Besides, you waste the treasure of your time with a foolish knight.
That's me, I warrant you!
One Sir Andrew.
I knew 'twas, for many do call me fool.
Oh, what employment have we here?
Oh, now is the woodcock near the gin.
Peace!
My life, my lady's hand. These be her very C's, her U's and her T's. Oh, and thus makes she her great P's. It is in contempt of question her hand.
Her C's, her U's, and her T's? Why's that?
To the unknown beloved, this and my good wishes. Her very phrases. Oh, by your leave, wax, soft, and the impressure of her Lucrece with which she uses to seal. 'Tis my lady. To whom should this be?
This wins him, liver and all.
Jove knows I love, but who? Lips do not move, no man must know. No man must know. Well, what follows? The number's altered, no man must know. If this should be thee, Malvolio.
Mary, hang me, Brock!
I may command where I adore, but silence like a Lucrece knife with bloodless stroke my heart doth gore. M-O-A-I doth sway my life.
A fustian riddle.
Excellent wench, say I.
M-O-A-I doth sway my life. Nay, let me see.
What dish of poison has she distressed him?
I may command where I adore. Why, she may command me. I serve her. She is my lady. Why, this is evident in any formal capacity. There is no obstruction in this. And the end. Now, what should that alphabetical position portend? If I could make that resemble something in me. Softly, M-O-A-I.
O-I. Make up that.
M. Malvolio. M. Why, that begins my name. M. But wait, then there's no consonancy in the sequel. That suffers under probation. A should follow, but O does, and I comes behind.
Aye, and you had an eye behind you. You might see more detraction at your heels than fortunes before you.
M-O-A-I. This simulation is not as the former, and yet to crush this a little, it would bow to me, for every one of these letters are in my name. Soft, here follows prose. If this fall into thy hand, revolve. In my stars, I am above thee, but be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Thy fates open their hands, let thy blood and spirit embrace them, and to inure thyself to what thou art like to be, cast thy humble slough and appear fresh. Be opposite with a kinsman, surly with servants, let thy tongue tang arguments of state, put thyself into the trick of singularity. She thus advises thee that sighs for thee. Oh, remember who commended thy yellow stockings and wishes to see thee ever cross-gartered. I say remember. Go to, thou art made, if thou desirest to be so. If not, let me see thee a steward still, the fellow of servants, and not worthy to touch fortune's fingers. Farewell, she that would alter services with thee, the fortunate unhappy. Daylight and champagne discovers not more. This is open. I will be proud. I will read politic authors. I will baffle Sir Toby. I will wash off gross acquaintance. I will be point device the very man. I do not now fool myself to let imagination jade me, for every reason excites me to this, that my lady loves me. She did commend my yellow stockings of late. She did praise my leg being cross-gartered, and in this she manifests herself to my love, and with a kind of injunction drives me to these very habits of her liking. I thank my stars. I am happy. I will be strange, stout, in yellow stockings, and cross-gartered, even with the swiftness of putting on. Jove and my stars be praised. Oh, yet here is a postscript. Thou canst not choose, but know who I am. If thou entertainst my love, let it appear in thy smiling. Thy smiles become thee well. Therefore, in my presence, still smile, my sweet, I prithee. Jove, I thank thee. I will smile. I will do everything that thou wilt have me.
marry this wench for this device.
So could I.
And ask no other dowry with her but such another jest.
Nor I neither.
Here comes my noble goal catcher. Wilt thou sit on my neck?
Or on mine either?
Shall I play my freedom at a trade trip and become thy bond slave?
Or I either?
Aye. Thou hast put him in such a dream that when the image of it leaves him, he must run mad.
Nay, but say true. Does it work upon him?
Like aqua vitae with a midwife.
If you will then see the fruits of the sport, mark his first approach before my lady. He will come to her in yellow stockings, and 'tis a color she abhors, and cross-gartered, a fashion she detests, and he will smile upon her, which will now be so unsuitable to her disposition, being addicted to a melancholy as she is, that it cannot but turn him into a notable contempt. If you will see it, follow me.
To the gates of Tartar, thou most excellent devil of wit.
I'll make one too.
friend, and thy music. Dost thou live by thy tabor?
No, sir, I live by the church.
Oh, art thou a churchman?
No such matter, sir. I do live by the church, for I do live at my house, and the house doth stand by the church.
Ah, so thou mayst say the king lives by a beggar, if a beggar dwell near him. Or the church stands by thy tabor, if thy tabor stand by the church.
You have said, sir. To see this age, a sentence is but a kid-skin glove to a good wit. How quickly the wrong side might be turned outward.
Nay, that's certain. They that dally nicely with words may quickly make them wanton.
I would therefore my sister had no name, sir.
Why, man?
Why, sir, her name's a word, and to dally with that word might make my sister wanton.
Ah, I warrant thou art a merry fellow and cares for nothing.
Not so, sir, for I do care for something. But in my conscience, sir, I do not care for you. If that be to care for nothing, sir, it would make you invisible.
Art thou not the Lady Olivia's fool?
No, indeed, sir. The Lady Olivia has no folly. She will keep no fool, sir, till she be married. I am indeed not her fool, but her corrupter of words.
I saw thee late at the Duke Orsino's.
Foolery, sir, does walk about the orb like the sun. It shines everywhere. I think I saw your wisdom there.
Nay, and thou pass upon me, I'll no more with thee. Hold, there's expenses for thee.
Now Jove in his next commodity of hair send thee a beard.
By my troth, I'll tell thee I am almost sick for one, though I would not have it grow on my chin. Is the lady within?
My lady is within, sir. I will conster to them whence you come. Who you are and what you would are out of my welkin. I might say element, but the word is overworn.
This fellow is wise enough to play the fool, and to do that well craves a kind of wit. He must observe their mood on whom he jests, the quality of person and the time, and like the falcon check at every feather that comes before his eye. This is a practice as full of labor as a wise man's art. For folly that he wisely shows is fit, but wise men folly fallen quite taint their wit.
Save you, gentlemen.
And you, sir?
Adieu, vous gardez, monsieur.
Et vous aussi, votre serviteur.
I hope, sir, you are, and I'm yours.
Will you encounter the house? My niece is desirous you should enter. If you trade, beat her.
I am bound to your niece, sir. I mean, she is the list of my voyage.
Taste your legs, sir. Put them to motion.
My legs do better understand me, sir, than I understand what you mean by bidding me taste my legs.
I mean to go, sir, to enter.
I will answer you with gate and entrance. But we are prevented. Most excellent, accomplished lady, the heavens rain odors upon you.
That used to rare courtier rain odors well.
My matter hath no voice, lady, but to your own most pregnant and vouchsafed ear.
Orders, pregnant and vouchsafed. I get them all three already.
Let the garden door be shut and leave me to my hearing. Give me your hand, sir.
My duty, madam, and my most humble service.
What is your name?
Cesario is your servant's name, fair princess.
My servant, sir. 'Twas never merry world since lowly feigning was called compliment. Your servant to the Count Orsino, youth.
And he is yours, and his must needs be yours. Your servant's servant is your servant, madam.
For him, I think not on him. For his thoughts, would they were blanks rather than filled with me.
Madam, I come to whet your gentle thoughts on his behalf.
Oh, by your leave, I pray you. I bade you never speak again of him. But would you undertake another suit? I had rather hear you to solicit that than music from the spheres.
Dear lady.
Give me leave, beseech you. I did send, after the last enchantment you did here, a ring in chase of you. So did I abuse myself, my servant, and, I fear me, you. Under your hard construction must I sit to force that on you in a shameful cunning which you knew none of yours. What might you think? Have you not set mine honor at the stake and baited it with all the unmuzzled thoughts that tyrannous heart can think? To one of your receiving enough is shown. A crystal, not a bosom, hides my heart. So let me hear you speak.
I pity you.
That's a degree to love?
No, not a step, for 'tis a vulgar proof that very oft we pity enemies.
Why then, methinks 'tis time to smile again. Oh world, how apt the poor are to be proud. If one should be a prey, how much the better to fall before the lion than the wolf. The clock upbraids me with the waste of time. Be not afraid, good youth, I will not have you. And yet when wit and youth is come to harvest, your wife were like to reap a proper man. Where lies your way? Due west?
Then westward ho! Grace and good disposition attend your ladyship. You'll nothing, madam, to my lord by me?
Stay! I prithee, tell me what thou thinkst of me.
That you do think you are not what you are?
If I think so, I think the same of you.
And think you right, I am not what I am.
I would you were as I would have you be.
Would it be better, madam, than I am? I wish it might, for now I am your fool.
What a deal of scorn looks beautiful in the contempt and anger of his lip. A murderous guilt shows not itself so soon as love that would seem hid. Love's night is noon. Cesario, by the roses of the spring, by maidhood, honor, truth, and everything, I love thee so that maugre all thy pride, nor wit nor reason can my passion hide. Do not extort thy reasons from this clause, for that I woo, thou therefore hast no cause, but rather reason thus, with reason fetter. Love sought is good, but given unsought is better.
By innocence I swear, and by my youth I have one heart, one bosom, and one truth, and that no woman has, nor ever none shall mistress be of it, save I alone. And so adieu, good madam. Never more will I my master's tears to you deplore.
Yet come again, for thou perhaps mayst move that heart which now abhors to like his love. Oh.
No, Faith, I'll not stay. I'll not stay a jot longer.
Thy reason, dear Venom, give thy reason.
You must use your reason, Sir Andrew.
Mary, I saw your niece do more favors to the Duke's serving man than she ever bestowed upon me. I saw it in the orchard.
Did she see thee the while, old boy? Tell me that.
As plain as I see you now.
This was a great argument of love in her toward you.
It's like, will you make an ass of me?
She did show favor to the youth in your sight to exasperate you, to awake your dormouse valor, to put fire in your heart and brimstone in your liver. You should have then accosted her and with some excellent jests, fire new from the mint, you should have banged the youth into dumbness. This was looked for you at your hand, and this was balked. The doubts, the double guilt of this opportunity, you let time wash off, and you are now sailed into the north of my lady's opinion, where you will hang like an icicle on a Dutchman's beard, unless you do redeem it by some laudable attempt, either of valor or policy.
And it be anyway, it must be with valor. For policy, I hate.
Why then, build me thy fortunes upon the basis of valor. Challenge the Duke's youth to fight with him. Hurt him in 11 places. My niece shall take note of it, and assure thyself there's no love broker in the world can more prevail in man's commendation with women than report of valor.
There is no way but this, Sir Andrew.
Will you bear me a challenge to him?
Well, write it in a martial hand. Be cursed and brief. Taunt him with the license of ink. It is no matter how witty, so it be eloquent and full of invention. About it.
Where shall I find you?
We'll call thee at thy cubicle. Go!
This is a dear mannequin to you, Sir Toby.
I have been dear to him, lad, some 2,000 strong or so.
We shall have a rare letter from him, but you'll not deliver it.
Never trust me then. And by all means, stir on the youth to an answer. For Andrew, if he were opened and you find so much blood in his liver as will clog the foot of a flea, I'll eat the rest of the anatomy.
And his opposite, the youth, bears in his visage no great presage of cruelty.
Look at the youngest rat of 9 come.
You desire the spleen and will laugh yourself into stitches. Follow me. Yonder gold Malvolio is turned heathen, a very renegado. He's in yellow stockings.
And cross-gartered.
Most villainously, he does obey every point of the letter that I dropped to betray him. He does smile his face into more lines than is in the new map with the augmentation of the Indies. You have not seen such a thing as 'tis. I can hardly forbear hurling things at him. I know my lady will strike him. If she do, he'll smile and take it for a great favor.
Come, bring us! Bring us where he is!
I would not by my will have troubled you, but since you make your pleasure of your pains, I will no further chide you.
I could not stay behind you. My desire more sharp than filed steel did spur me forth. And now all love to see you, though so much as might have drawn one on a longer voyage. But jealousy what might befall you on your travel, being skilless in these parts, be sure a stranger, unguided and unfriended, often prove rough and inhospitable. My willing love, the rather by these arguments of fear, set forth in your pursuit.
My kind Antonio, I can no other answer make but thanks, and ever thanks. And oft good turns are shuffled off with such uncurrent pay. But were my worth as is my conscience firm, you should find better dealing. What's to do? Shall we go see the relics of the town?
Tomorrow, sir. Best first go see your lodging.
I am not weary, and 'tis long tonight. I pray you, let us satisfy our eyes with the memorials and things of fame that do renown this city.
Would you pardon me? I do not without danger walk these streets. Once in a sea fight against the Duke his galleys, I did some service of such note indeed that were I ta'en here, it would scarce be answered.
Belike you slew a great number of his people?
The offense is not of such a bloody nature. It might have since been answered in repaying what we took from them, which for traffic's sake most of our city did. Only myself stood out, for which if I be latched in this place, I shall pay dear.
Do not then walk too open.
It doth not fit me. Hold, sir. Here's my purse. In the south suburbs at the Elephant is best to lodge. I will bespeak our diet, whilst you beguile the time and feed your knowledge with viewing of the town. There shall you have me.
Why I your purse?
Haply your eye shall light upon some toy you have desire to purchase. And your store, I think, is not for idle market, sir.
I'll be your purse bearer and leave you for an hour.
To the Elephant.
I do remember.
I have sent after him. He says he'll come. How shall I feast him? What bestow of him? For youth is bought more oft than begged or borrowed. Yeah, I speak too loud. Where's Malvolio? He is sad and civil and suits well for a servant with my fortunes. Where is Malvolio?
He's coming, madam, but in a very strange manner. He is sure possessed, madam.
Why? What is the matter? Does he rave?
No, madam, he does nothing but smile. Your ladyship were best to have some guard about you if he come, for sure the man is tainted in his wits.
Go, call him hither. I am as mad as he, if sad and merry madness equal be. How now, Malvolio?
Sweet lady! Ho, ho, ho!
Smilest thou? I sent for thee upon a sad occasion.
Sad lady. Oh, I can be sad. This does make some obstruction in the blood, this cross-gartering. Oh, God. But what of that? If it please the eye of one, it is with me as the true sonnet is, please one and please all.
Why, how dost thou, man? What is the matter with thee?
Not black in my mind, though yellow in my legs. It did come to his hands, and commands shall be executed. I think we know the sweet Roman hand.
Wilt thou go to bed, Malvolio?
To bed, aye, sweetheart, and I'll come to thee.
God comfort thee! Why dost thou smile so and kiss thy hand so oft?
How do you, Malvolio?
At your request? Oh, yes, nightingales answer doors.
Why appear you with this ridiculous boldness before my lady?
Be not afraid of greatness, 'twas well writ.
What meanst thou by that, Malvolio?
Some are born great. Some achieve greatness.
What sayest thou?
And some have greatness thrust upon them.
Store thee!
Remember who commended thy yellow stockings.
My yellow stockings?
And wishes to see thee cross-gartered.
Cross-gartered?
Go to, thou art made if thou art desirous to be so.
Am I made?
If not, let me see thee a servant still.
Why, this is very midsummer madness.
Madam, the young gentleman of the Duke Orsino has returned. I could hardly entreat him back. He attends your ladyship's pleasure.
I'll come to him. Good Maria, let this fellow be looked to. Where's my cousin Toby? Let some of my people have a special care of him. I would not have him miscarry for the half my dowry.
Oh-ho! Do you come near me now? No worse man than Sir Toby to look to me. This concurs directly with the letter. She sends him on purpose that I may appear stubborn to him, for she incites me to that in the letter. I have snared her, but it is Jove's doing, and Jove makes me thankful. And when she went away now, let this fellow be looked to. Fellow, not Malvolio, nor after my degree, but fellow. Why, everything adheres together that no dram of a scruple, no scruple of a scruple, no obstacle, no incredulous or unsafe circumstance. What can be said? Nothing that can be can come between me and the full prospect of my hopes. Well, Jove, not I, is the doer of this, and he is to be thanked.
Which way is he in the name of sanctity? If all the devils of hell be drawn in little, and Lucifer himself possessed him, yet I'll speak to him.
Here he is. Here he is. How is't with you, sir?
How is it with you, man?
Go off. I discard you. Leave me to my private. Go off.
Lo, how hollow the fiend speaks within him! Did I not tell you, Sir Toby? My lady prays you to have a care of him.
Ah, does she so?
Go to, peace! Peace, we must deal gently with him. Let me alone. How do you, Malvolio? How is it with you? What, man? Defy the devil! Consider, he's an enemy to mankind.
Do you know what you say?
Look, and you speak ill of the devil and how he takes it at heart. Pray God he not be bewitched.
How now, mistress?
Oh, Lord!
Prithee, hold thy peace. This is not the way. Do you not see how you move him? Just let me alone with him.
No way but gentleness. Gently, gently. The fiend is rough and will not be roughly used.
Why? How now, my bawcock? How dost thou, chuck?
Sir.
Oh, biddy, come with me. What, man? 'Tis not for gravity to play at cherry pit with Satan. Hang him, foul collier.
Get him to say his prayers. Good Sir Toby, get him to pray.
My prayers, minx.
No, I warn you, he will not hear of godliness.
Go hang yourselves, all. You are idle, shallow things. I am not of your element. You shall know more hereafter. Is
it possible?
If this were played upon a stage now, I could condemn it as an improbable fiction.
This very genius hath taken the infection of the device, man.
Nay, pursue him now. Let the device take air and taint.
Why, we shall make him mad indeed.
The house will be the quieter.
Well, we'll have him in a dark room and bound. My niece is already in the belief that he's mad. We may carry it thus for our pleasure and his penance till our very pastime, tired out of breath, prompt us to have mercy on him. At which time we will bring the device to the bar and crown thee for a finder of madmen. Oh, let's see.
More matter for a May morning.
Here's the challenge. Read it. I warrant there's vinegar and pepper in it.
Is't so saucy?
Oh, aye, 'tis. I warned him, but do read it.
Give me.
Youth, whatsoever thou art but a scurvy fellow.
Good and valiant.
Wonder not, nor admire not in thy mind why I do call thee so, for I will show thee no reason for it.
A good note that keeps you from the blow of the law.
Thou comest to the lady Olivia, and in my sight she uses thee kindly. But thou liest in thy throat. That is not the matter I challenge thee for.
Very brief and exceeding good sense, Les.
I will waylay thee going home, where if it be thy chance to kill me.
Good.
Thou killest me like a rogue and a villain.
Still you keep on the windy side of the law. Good.
Fare thee well, and God have mercy upon one of our souls. He may have mercy upon mine, but my hope is better, and so look to thyself. Thy friend as thou usest him, and thy sworn enemy, Andrew Agacheek.
If this letter move him not, his legs cannot. I'll give it him.
We have very fit occasion for it. He is now in some commerce with my lady and will by and by depart.
Oh, go, Sir Andrew.
Scout me for him at the corner of the orchard. So soon as ever thou seest him, draw, and as thou drawest, swear horrible. Away.
Nay, let me alone for swearing.
Now will I not deliver his letter. For the behavior of the young gentleman gives him out to be one of good capacity and breeding. Therefore, this letter, being so excellently ignorant, will breed no terror in him. You will find it comes from a clodpole. But, sir, I will deliver his challenge by word of mouth. Upon Agacheek, a notable report of valor, and drive the youth into a most hideous opinion of his rage, skill, fury, and impetuosity. This will so fright them both that they'll kill one another by the look, like cockatrices.
Oh, here he comes with your niece. Give them way till he take leave, and presently after him.
I will meditate the while upon some horrid message for a challenge. Oh.
I have said too much unto a heart of stone, and laid mine honor too unchary on it. There's something in me that reproves my fault, but such a headstrong, potent fault it is, that it but mocks reproof.
With the same behavior that your passion bears goes on my master's grief.
Here, wear this jewel for me. 'Tis my picture. Refuse it not. It hath no tongue to vex you. And I beseech you, come again tomorrow. What shall you ask of me that I'll deny, that honor saved may upon asking give?
Nothing but this, your true love for my master.
How, with mine honor, may I give him that which I have given to you?
I will acquit you.
Well, come again tomorrow. Fare thee well. A fiend like thee might bear my soul to hell.
Gentlemen, God save thee.
And you, sir.
That offense thou hast, betake thee to it. Of what nature the wrongs are thou hast done him, I know not. But thy interceptor, full of despite, bloody as the hunter, attends thee at the orchard end. Draw thy sword. Be are in thy preparation, for thy assailant is quick, skillful, and deadly.
You mistake, sir. I am sure no man hath any quarrel to me. My remembrance is very free and clear from any image of offense done to any man.
You'll find it otherwise, I assure you. Therefore, if you hold your life at any price, betake you to your guard. For your opposite hath in him what youth, strength, skill, and wrath can furnish man withal.
I pray you, sir, what is he?
He is night, dubbed with unhatched rapier, and he is devil in private brawl. Souls and bodies hath he divorced 3, and his incensement at this moment is so implacable that satisfaction can be done but by pangs of death and sepulchre. Hobnob is his word. Give it or take it.
I will return again into the house and desire some conduct of the lady. I am no fighter.
Back you shall not to the house, unless you undertake that with me, with which as much safety you might answer him.
This is uncivil as it is strange. I beseech you, do me this courteous office as to know of the knight what my offense to him is. It is something of my negligence, nothing of my purpose.
I will do so. Signor Fabian, stay you by this gentleman to my return.
I pray you, sir, do you know of this matter?
I know the knight is incensed against you, even to a mortal arbitrament, but nothing of the circumstance more.
I beseech you, what manner of man is he?
He is indeed, sir, the most skillful, bloody, and fatal opposite that you could possibly have found in any parts of Illyria.
I am one that had rather go with Sir Priest than Sir Knight. I care not who knows so much of my mettle.
Why, man, he is a very devil.
I have not seen such a virago. I had a pass with him, rapier, scabbard, and all, and he gives me the stucking with such a mortal motion that it is inevitable.
Pox on it! I'll not meddle with him!
Aye, but he will not now be pacified.
Plague on it! And I thought he had been valiant and so cunning, and thence I'd have seen him damned ere I'd have challenged him. Let him let the matter slip, and I'll give him my horse, Grey Capulet.
I'll make the motion. Stand here, make a good show on it. This shall end without the perdition of souls. I have persuaded him the youth's a devil.
He is as horribly conceited of him and pants and looks pale as if a bear were at his heels.
There's no remedy, sir. He will fight with you for his oath's sake. Marry, he hath better bethought him of his quarrel and finds that now scarce to be worth talking of. Therefore, draw for the supportance of his vow. He protests he will not hurt you.
Oh, pray God, defend me. A little thing would make me tell them how much I lack of a man.
Come, Sir Andrew, there's no remedy. The gentleman will, for his honor's sake, have one bout with you. He cannot, by the rules of combat, avoid it. But he has promised me, as he is a gentleman and a soldier, he will not hurt you. Come on, to it.
Pray God he keep his oath.
I do assure you it is against my will.
Put up your sword. If this young gentleman have done offense, I take the fault on me. If you offend him, I for him defy you.
You, sir? Why, what are you?
One, sir, that for his love, there's yet do more than you have heard him brag to you he will.
Nay, if you be a meddler, I am for you.
Oh, good Sir Toby, hold, here come the officers.
I'll be with you anon.
Pray, sir, put your sword up, if you please.
But, Mary, I will, sir, and for that I promised you I'll be good as my word. He will bear you easily and reigns well.
This is the man. Do thy office.
Antonio, I arrest thee at the suit of Duke Orsino.
You do mistake me, sir.
No, sir, no jot. I know your favor well, though now you have no sea cap on your head. Take him away. He knows I know him well.
I must obey. This comes with seeking you. But there's no remedy, I shall answer it. What will you do? Now my necessity makes me ask you for my purse. It grieves me much more for what I cannot do for you than for what befalls myself. You stand amazed, but be of comfort.
Hey, come, sir, away.
I must entreat of you some of that money.
What money, sir? For the fair kindness you have showed me here, and part being prompted by your present trouble, out of my lean and low ability, I'll lend you something. My having is not much. I'll make division of my present with you. Hold, here's half my coffer.
Will you deny me now? Is possible that my deserts to you can lack persuasion? Do not tempt my misery, lest that it make so unsound a man as to upbraid you with those kindnesses that I have done for you.
I know of none, nor know I you by voice or any feature.
Oh, heavens themselves.
Hey, come, sir, I pray you, go.
Let me speak a little. This youth that you see here, I snatched one half out of the jaws of death, relieved him with such sanctity of love, and to his image, which methought did promise most venerable worth, did I devotion.
What's that to us? The time goes by. Away.
But oh, how vile and idle proves this God. Thou hast, Sebastian, done good feature shame. In nature, there's no blemish but the mind. None can be called deformed but the unkind. Virtue is beauty. But the beauteous evil are empty trucks o'erflourished by the devil.
The man grows mad. Away with them.
Come, come, sir.
Lead me on.
Methinks his words do from such passion fly that he believes himself. So do not I. Prove true, imagination. Oh, prove true that I, dear brother, be now taken for you.
Come hither, knight.
He named Sebastian. I, my brother, know, yet living in my glass, even such and so in favor was my brother, and he went still in this fashion, color, ornament, for him I imitate. Oh, if it prove, tempests are kind, and salt waves fresh in love.
Very dishonest, paltry boy, and more a coward than a hare. His dishonesty appears in leaving his friend here in necessity and denying him, and for his cowardship, ask Fabian.
A coward, a most devout coward, religious in it. Slid, I'll after him and beat him.
Do, cuff him soundly, but never draw thy sword.
And I do not.
I dare lay any money, 'twill be nothing yet.
Will you make me believe that I am not sent for you?
Go to, thou art a foolish fellow, let me be clear of thee.
Well held out of faith, nor I do not know you, nor I am not sent to you by my lady to bid you come speak with her, nor your name is not Master Cesario, nor this is not my nose neither. Nothing that is so is so.
I prithee, vent thy folly somewhere else, thou knows not me.
Vent my folly! He has heard that word of some great man, now applies it to a fool. Vent my folly! I prithee now, ungird thy strangeness, and tell me what it is I shall vent to my lady. Shall I vent to her that thou art coming?
I prithee, foolish Greek, depart from me. There's money for thee. If you tarry longer, I shall give worse payment.
Oh, by my troth thou hast an open hand.
But you, Toby?
Well, Sir Knight, you have met your foe again. Smack him soundly.
Toby? What page
Yes,
are we on?
Sir Knight, you will find your place on page 5 and 9.
Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry about that.
No.
Thank you. Let's
No.
start again.
Fret not, Sir Knight. Thou hast a noble heart.
Thank you.
Now,
sir.
read him soundly, Sir Knight.
Nay.
Okay. Why, there's for thee, and there, Are all the people mad?
Behold, sir, or I'll throw your dagger over the house.
This I will tell my lady straight. I would not be in some of your coats for twopence.
Come on, sir, hold!
Nay, let him alone. I'll go another way to work with him. I have an action of battery against him. If there be any law in Illyria, though I struck him first, yet it's no matter for that.
Let go thy hand.
Come, sir, I will not let you go. Come, my young soldier, put up your iron. You're well-fleshed, come on!
I will be free from thee. What wouldst thou now? If thou darest tempt me further, draw thy sword.
What? What? Nay, then, I must have an ounce or two with this malapert blood from you! Yeah!
Toby! On thy life I charge thee, hold!
Madam?
Will it ever be thus? Ungracious wretch, fit for the mountains and the barbarous caves where manners ne'er were preached out of my sight! Be not offended, dear Cesario. Rudesby, be gone! I prithee, gentle friend, let thy fair wisdom, not thy passion, sway in this uncivil and unjust extent against thy peace. Go with me to my house, and hear thou there how many fruitless pranks this ruffian hath botched up, that thou thereby mayest smile at this. Thou shalt not choose, but go.
What relish is in this? How runs the stream? Or I am mad, or else this is a dream. Let fancy still my sense in Lethe steep. If it be thus to dream, still let me sleep.
Nay, come, I prithee, would thou'dst be ruled by me?
Oh, madam, I will.
Oh, say so, and so be.
Nay, I prithee, put on this gown and this beard. Make him believe thou art Sir Topus, the curate. Do it quickly. I'll call Sir Toby the whilst.
Well, I'll put it on, and I will dissemble myself in it. And I would I were the first that ever dissembled in such a gown.
Jove bless thee, Master Parson.
Bonus dias, Sir Toby.
Do him, Sir Top-ass.
What ho, I say! Peace in this prison!
Knave counterfeits well. A good knave.
Who calls there?
Sir Top-ass, the curate who comes to visit Malvolio, the lunatic.
Sir Top-ass?
Top-ass.
Sir Top-ass!
Top-ass!
Top-ass, go to my lady!
Out, hyperbolical fiend! How vexest thou this man? Talkest thou nothing but of ladies?
Well said, Master Parson.
Sir Top-ass, never was man thus wronged, good Sir Top-ass.
Top-ass!
Do not think I am mad. They have laid me here in hideous darkness.
Ah, thou dishonest Satan! Sayest thou the house is dark?
As hell, Sir Top-ass.
Top-as! Why, it hath bay windows transparent as barricadoes, and the clerestories toward the south-north are as lustrous as ebony. And yet complainest thou of obstruction?
I am not mad, Sir Top-as. I say to you, this house is dark.
Madman, thou errest. I say there is no darkness, but ignorance, in which thou art more puzzled than the Egyptians in their fog.
I say this house is as dark as ignorance, though ignorance were as dark as hell. And I say there was never a man thus abused. I am no more mad than you are. Make the trial of it in any constant question.
What is the opinion of Pythagoras concerning wild fowl?
That the soul of our grandam might haply inhabit a bird.
What thinkest thou of this opinion?
I think nobly of the soul, and no way approve this opinion.
Fare thee well. Remain thou still in darkness. Thou shalt hold the opinion of Pythagoras, ere I will allow of thy wits, and fear to kill a woodcock, lest thou dispossess the soul of thy grandam. Fare thee well.
Sir Top-ass! Sir Top-ass!
My most exquisite Sir Top-ass.
Nay, I am for all waters.
Thou mightest have done this without thy beard and gown. He sees thee not.
To him, in thine own voice, and bring me word how thou find'st him. I would we were well rid of this knavery. If he may be conveniently delivered, I would he were, for I am now so far in offense with my niece that I cannot pursue with any safety the sport to the upshot. Come by and by to my chamber.
Hey, Robin, a jolly Robin, tell me why the lady does.
Fool?
Ow, my lady isn't kind, Purdy.
Fool?
Alas, what is she? soul.
Hey, fool!
She loves another. Who calls, huh?
Good fool, as thou ever wilt deserve well at my hand, help me to a candle and pen, ink, and paper. As I am a gentleman, I will live to be thankful to thee for it.
Master Malvolio.
Aye, good fool.
Alas, sir, how fell you beside your 5 wits?
Fool, there was never a man so notoriously abused. I am as well in my wits, sir, as thou art.
But as well, then you are mad indeed, if you be no better in your wits than a fool.
I tell thee, I am as well in my wits as any man in Illyria.
Well, the day that you were, sir.
By this hand I am. Good fool. Some ink, some paper, and some light, and convey what I will set down to my lady. It shall advantage thee more than ever the bearing of letter did.
I will help you to it. But tell me true, are you not mad indeed, or do you but counterfeit?
Believe me, I am not. I tell thee true.
Nay, I'll never believe a madman till I see his brains. I will fetch you light and paper and ink.
Fool, I'll requite it in the highest degree. I prithee be gone.
I am gone, sir, and anon, sir, I'll be with you again. In a trice, like to the old vice, you need to sustain. Who with dagger and laugh, with his rage and his wrath cries, ha ha, to the devil. Like a mad lad, pare my nails, dad, I do, good man devil. Yeah!
This is the air. That is the glorious sun. This pearl she gave me, I do feel it and see it. And though 'tis wonder that enwraps me thus, yet 'tis not madness. Whew. Where's Antonio then? I could not find him at the Elephant, yet there he was, and there I found this credit that he did range the town to seek me out. Oh, his counsel now might do me golden service. For though my soul disputes well with my sense that this may be some error but no madness, yet doth this accident and flood of fortune so far exceed all instance, all discourse, that I am ready to distrust mine eyes and wrangle with my reason that persuades me to any other trust but that I am mad. Or else the lady's mad. Yet if 'twere so, she could not sway her house, command her followers, take and give back affairs, and them dispatch with such a smooth, discreet, and stable bearing as I perceive she does. Oh, there's something in it that is deceivable. Oh, but here the lady comes.
Blame not this haste of mine. If you mean well, now go with me, and with this holy one into the chantry by. There before her and underneath that consecrated root, plight me the full assurance of your faith, that my most jealous and too doubtful soul may live at peace. She shall conceal it, whiles you are willing it shall come to note what time we will our celebration keep according to my birth. What do you say?
I'll follow this good priest and go with you. And having sworn truth, ever will be true.
Then lead the way, good mother, and heavens so shine that they may fairly note this act of mine.
Belong you to the Lady Olivia, friend?
Aye, sir. We are some of her trappings.
I know thee well. How dost thou, my good fellow?
Truly, sir, the better for my foes and the worse for my enemies.
No, sir, the worst. Wait, how can that be?
Truly, sir, what I meant to say, sir, is I am the better for my foes and the worse for my friends.
Oh, just the contrary, the better for thy friends.
No, sir, the worse.
How can that be?
Marry, sir, they praise me and make an ass of me. Now, my foes tell me plainly I am an ass, so that by my foes, sir, I profit in the knowledge of myself, and by my friends I am abused. Why then, the worse for my friends and the better for my foes?
Why, this is excellent.
By my troth, sir, know though it please you to be one of my friends.
Thou shalt not be worse from me. There's gold.
But your grace, but that it would be double dealing, sir. I wish you could make it another.
Oh, you give me ill counsel.
Put your grace in your pocket, sir, for this once, and let your flesh and blood obey it.
Well, I will be so much a sinner to be a double dealer. There's another. If you will let your lady know I am here to speak with her, I'll bring her along, and bring her along with you. It will awake my bounty further.
Marry, sir, lullaby to your bounty till I come again. I will awake it anon.
Here comes the man, sir, that did rescue me.
Oh, that face I do remember well. But yet when I saw it last, it was besmeared as black as Vulcan in the smoke of war.
Orsino, this is that Antonio that took the Phoenix and her fraught from Candia. Here in the streets, desperate of shame and state, in private brabble did we apprehend him.
He did me kindness, sir. He drew on my side.
Notable pirate, thou saltwater thief, what foolish boldness brought thee to the mercies, whom thou in terms so bloody and so dear hast made thine enemies?
Orsino, no, noble sir, be pleased that I shake off these names you give me. Antonio never yet was thief or pirate, though I confess on base and ground enough Orsino's enemy. A witchcraft drew me hither. That most ungrateful boy there by your side, from the nude seas enraged and foamy mouth did I redeem. A wreck past hope he was. His life I gave him, and did thereto add my love, without retention or restraint, all his in dedication. For his sake did I expose myself, pure for his love, into the danger of this adverse town, drew to defend him when he was beset. Where being apprehended, his false cunning, not meaning to partake with me in danger, taught him to face me out of his acquaintance, and grew a 20 years removed thing while one would wink. Denied me mine own purse, which I had recommended to his use not half an hour before.
How can this be?
When came he to this town?
Today, my lord, and for 3 months before, no interim, not a minute's vacancy, both day and night did we keep company.
Here comes the Countess. Now heaven walks on earth. But for thee, fellow, thy words are madness. 3 months this youth hath tended upon me. But more of that anon. Take him aside.
What would my lord, save that he may not have, wherein Olivia may seem serviceable? Cesario, you do not keep promise with me.
Madam?
Gracious Olivia.
What do you say, Cesario? Good my lord.
My lord would speak, my duty hushes me.
If it be aught to the old tune, my lord, it is as fat and fulsome to mine ear as howling after music.
Still so cruel.
Still so constant, lord.
What, to perverseness, you uncivil lady? To whose ingrate and inauspicious altars my soul, the faithfulest offerings, hath breathed out that ere devout devotion tendered? What shall I do?
Even what it shall please, my lord, that shall become him.
Why should I not? Had I the heart to do it? Like to the Egyptian at point of death, kill that I love? What a savage jealousy that sometimes savors nobly. But hear me this, since you to non-regardance cast my faith, and that I partly know the instrument that screws me from my true place in your favor, live you the marble-breasted tyrant still. But this, your minion, whom I know you love, and whom by heaven I swear I tender dearly, him will I tear out of that cruel eye where he sits crowned in his master's spite. Come, boy, with me. My thoughts are ripe with mischief. I'll sacrifice the lamb that I do love to spite a raven's heart within a dove.
And I, most jocund, apt, and willingly to do you rest, 1,000 deaths would die.
Where goes Cesario?
After him I love, more than I love these eyes, more than my life, more by all mores than e'er I shall love wife. If I do feign you witnesses above, punish my life for tainting of my love.
Ay me, detested, how am I beguiled?
Who does beguile you? Who does you wrong?
Hast thou forgot thyself? Is it so long? Call forth the Holy Mother.
Come away.
Whither? My lord, Cesario, husband, stay!
Husband!
Aye, husband. Can he that deny?
Her husband, Sira!
No, my lord, not I.
Alas, it is the baseness of thy fear that makes thee strangle thy propriety. Fear not, Cesario. Take thy fortunes up. Be that thou knowest thou art, and then thou art as great as that thou fearest. Ah, welcome, mother. Mother, I charge thee by thy reverence here to unfold, though lately we intended to keep in darkness what occasion now reveals before 'tis ripe. What thou dost know hath newly passed between this youth and me.
A contract of eternal bond of love, confirmed by mutual joinder of your hands, attested by the holy close of your lips, strengthened by the interchangement of your rings, and all the ceremony of this compact sealed in my function by my testimony. Since when my watch hath told me, towards my grave I've traveled but 2 hours.
Dissembling cub, what wilt thou be when time hath sowed a grizzle on thy case? Or will not else thy craft so quickly grow that thine own trip shall be thine own overthrow? Farewell.
No.
Take her, but direct thy feet where thou and I henceforth may never meet.
My lord, I do protest.
Oh, do not swear. Hold little faith, though thou hast too much fear.
For the love of God, a surgeon, send one presently to Sir Toby.
What's the matter?
Has broke my head across and given Sir Toby a bloody coxcomb too. For the love of God, your help. I had rather than 40 pound I were at home.
Who has done this, Sir Andrew?
The Duke's gentleman, one Cesario. We took him for a coward, but he's the very devil incarnate.
My gentleman, Cesario?
Odds feelings. Here he is. You broke my head for nothing, and that I did was set on to do it by Sir Toby.
Why do you speak to me? I never hurt you. You drew your sword upon me without cause, but I bespoke you fair and hurt you not.
If a bloody coxcomb be a hurt, you have hurt me. I think you set nothing by a bloody coxcomb. Here comes Sir Toby, halting. You shall hear more. But if he had not been in drink, he would have tickled you other gates than he did.
How now, gentlemen? How's it with you?
Forward! Oh, he's hurt me. There's the end of that. Sot, to see Dick Surgeon, Sot.
Oh, he's drunk, Sir Toby, an hour gone. His eyes were set at 8 in the morning.
Then he's a rogue. I hate a drunken rogue.
Away with him! Who hath made this havoc with them?
I'll help you, Sir Toby, because we'll be dressed together.
Will you help? An asshead, and a coxcomb, and an ape, His name. Go.
Get him to bed and let his hurt be looked to.
I am sorry, madam. I have hurt your kinsman, but had it been the brother of my blood, I must have done no less with wit and safety. You throw a strange regard upon me, and by that I do perceive it hath offended you. Pardon me, sweet one, even for the vows we made each other but so late ago.
One face, one voice, one habit, and two persons. A natural perspective that is and is not.
Antonio! Oh, my dear Antonio, how have the hours racked and tortured me since I have lost thee?
Sebastian, are you?
Fear'st thou that, Antonio?
How have you made division of yourself? An apple cleft in two is not more twin than these two creatures. Which is Sebastian?
Most wonderful.
Do I stand there? I never had a brother, nor can there be that deity in my nature of here and everywhere. I had a sister whom the blind waves and surges have devoured. Of charity, what kin are you to me? What countryman, what name, what parentage? Of Messalene? Sebastian was my father. Such a Sebastian was my brother too, so went he suited to his watery tomb. If spirits can assume both form and suit, you come to fright us. A spirit I am indeed, but am in that dimension grossly clad, which from the womb I did participate. Were you a woman, as the rest goes, even I should let my tears fall upon your cheek and say, thrice welcome, drowned Viola. My father had a mole upon his brow, and so had mine. And died that day when Viola from her birth had numbered 13 years. Oh, that record is lively in my soul. He finished indeed his mortal act the day that made my sister 13 years. If nothing lets to make us happy both, but this my masculine usurped attire, do not embrace me until each circumstance of place, time, fortune do cohere and jump that I am Viola. Which to confirm, I'll bring you to a captain in this town where lie my maiden weeds, by whose gentle help I was preserved to serve this noble count. All the occurrence of my fortune since hath been between this lady and this lord. So comes it, lady, you have been mistook. You would have been contracted to a maid.
Be not amazed, right noble is his blood. If this be so, as yet the glass seems true. I shall have share in this most happy wreck. Boy, thou hast said to me 1,000 times, thou never shouldst love woman like to me.
And all those sayings will I overswear, and all those swearings keep as true in soul as doth that orbed continent the fire that severs day from night.
Give me thy hand, and let me see thee in thy woman's weeds.
The captain that did bring me first on shore hath my maid's garments. He upon some action is now in durance at Malvolio's suit, a gentleman and follower of my lady's.
He shall enlarge him. Fetch Malvolio hither. And yet, alas, now I remember me, they say, poor gentleman, he's much distract. A most extracting frenzy of mine own from my remembrance clearly banished his. How does he, Sirrah?
Truly, madam, he holds Beelzebub at the stave's end as well as any man in his case may do. Has he writ a letter to you? I should have given it to you this morning, but as a madman's epistles are no gospels, it skills not much when they are delivered.
Open it and read it.
Look then to be well edified when the fool delivers the madman. By the Lord, madam.
Now, art thou mad?
No, madam, but I do read but madness, and your ladyship will have it as it ought to be. You must allow vox.
Prithee, read if I write wits.
So I do, Madonna, but to read his right wits is to read thus. Therefore, prepend, my princess, and give ear.
Read it, Sirrah!
By the Lord, madam, you wrong me, and the world shall know it. Though you have put me into darkness and given your drunken cousin rule over me, yet I have the benefit of my senses as well as your ladyship. I have your own letter that induced me to the semblance I put on, the which I doubt do but not unto myself much right or you much shame. Think of me as you please. I leave my duty a little unthought of and speak out of my injury, the madly used Malvolio.
Did she write this?
Aye, madam.
This savors not of much of distraction.
See him delivered. At once bring him hither. My lord, so please you, these things further thought on, to think me as well a sister as a wife. One day shall crown the alliance on it, so please you, here at my house and at my proper cost.
Madam, I am most apt to embrace your offer. Your master quits you, and for your service done to him, so much against the metal of your sex, so far beneath your soft and tender breeding. And since you called me master for so long, here is my hand. You shall from this time be your master's mistress.
A sister. You are she.
Is this the madman?
Aye, my lord, this same. How now, Malvolio?
Madam, you have done me wrong. Notorious wrong.
Have I? Malvolio, no.
Lady, you have. Pray you peruse that letter. You must not now deny it is your hand, or say 'tis not your seal nor your invention. You can say none of this. Well, grant it then, and tell me, in the modesty of honor, why you have given me such clear lights of favor, bade me come smiling and cross-gartered to you, to put on yellow stockings and to frown upon Sir Toby and the lighter people, and acting this in an obedient hope, why have you suffered me to be imprisoned, kept in a dark house, visited by the priest, and made the most notorious geck and gull that ever invention played on? Tell me why.
Alas, Malvolio, this is not my writing. Though I confess much like the character, but out of question 'tis Mariah's hand. And now I do bethink me it was she first told me thou wast mad. Then camest in smiling, and in such forms which here were presupposed upon thee in the letter. Prithee, be content. This practice hath most shrewdly passed upon thee, but when we know the grounds and authors of it, thou shalt be both the plaintiff and the judge in thine own cause.
Good madam, hear me speak, and let no quarrel nor no brawl to come taint the condition of this present hour, which I have wondered at. In hope it shall not, most freely I confess myself and Toby set this device against Malvolio here, upon some stubborn and uncourteous parts we had conceived against him. Mariah writ the letter at Sir Toby's great importance, in recompense whereof he had married her. How with a sportful malice it was followed, may rather pluck a laughter than revenge, if that the injuries be justly weighed that have on both sides passed.
Alas, poor fool, how have they baffled thee?
Why, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrown upon them. I was one, sir, in this interlude, one Sir Top-ass, sir, but that's all one. By the Lord, fool, I am not mad. But do you remember? Madam, why laugh you at such a barren rascal? And you smile not, he's gagged. And thus the whirligig of time brings in his revenges.
I'll be revenged on the whole pack of you.
Oh, he hath been most notoriously abused.
Pursue him and entreat him to a peace. He hath not told us of the captain yet. When that is known and the golden time convents, a solemn combination shall be made of our dear souls. Meantime, sweet sister, we will not part from hence. Cesario, come, for so you shall be when you are a man. But when in other habits you are seen, Orsino's mistress and his fancy's queen.
When that I was and a little tiny boy, hey ho, the wind and the rain, a foolish thing was but a toy, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came to man's estate, with hey ho, the wind and the rain, against knaves and thieves men you shut their gates, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came, alas, to wive, with hey ho, the wind and the rain, by swaggering could I never thrive, for the rain it raineth every day.
A great while ago, the world begun with hey ho, the wind and the rain. But that's all one. Our play is done, and we'll strive to please you every day.
Welcome back, everybody. We just need to give a big round of applause virtually and in every other direction. It's very hard to not hear the whole place just exploding for that lovely live performance. Oh, my friends, thank you for giving us live theater in these times. Thank you for giving us your aliveness in these times. What a huge, huge gift that is to us tonight. So we may have some questions coming in from the audience. For those of you participating out there as attendees, please feel free to put your questions in chat so that we may ask our fabulous cast and director and Jen Castor, our stage manager, any of the questions that you may have, and be in a kind of a dialogue tonight with about the art, in and about the art, because we're all here live together. And I have to say that that is one of the things I think most of us are missing the most, is just this ability to be together in a room and create that special community that only comes together in that one moment when we're all together in the room for that experience. But you brought us here tonight. Julia, thank you. Fabulous cast, thank you. Lovely. Just so lovely, the liveness of it. I can't say enough about the liveness of it. But Julia, because the cast all got here much faster than they usually do when they go down to the dressing room and then get their water and take their costumes off, I do have a question for you first, and then we can open it up to just a conversation amongst all of us. But in all of the years we've worked together, that is the first time I've actually ever seen you on stage.
Yes,
so,
well.
How is that?
Actually, really terrifying. 1992 was the last time that I did that. Although I do have a performative aspect to my day job, which is, dear audience, in fact, as a priest. Thus, we had to make that funny. So, I am actually Mother Julia.
Well, thank you for joining us in the Zoom room, the Zoom stage for tonight. That was great to have you actually out in front and not just behind the scenes. One of the attendees said in the chat early on, she said, before we started, she said, theater is public health. And I really just want to talk about that because I couldn't agree more. And I think that bringing us together in this way and being alive together in this way and doing Shakespeare in this way is so important to the health and well-being of our communities. What does that feel like to you guys as the actors? That idea that Shakespeare is public health, that we chose Shakespeare tonight to be how we advance our own well-being.
I'll chime in.
Great, Melody.
I have been wondering when folks who are not involved in the performing arts would start to notice the lack of new shows. Right? Would start to be like, why is the only thing I see on television reruns and reality TV that was in the pipeline, and none of it nourishes me? I'm really wondering, because here in this stopping that we're all living through, no one can make new stories in the ways that we are accustomed to receiving them as an audience. And it does feel like a kind of like onset of starvation. And I deeply believe that what we do, regardless of form, is nourishment, is public health, is something that is not frosting or extra. It is essential to human survival. And maybe that's because we've evolved these giant brains that are equipped to deal with great extremity, but not called upon to deal with great extremity most of the time. So how do we exercise? Through stories, right? But I am, on that note, really nourished by getting to play, even in this strange and somewhat awkward format, by getting to play with these beautiful people and to feel like through that web, so many others participating with us, even though we don't hear applause, but I mean, maybe we're capable of that stretched empathy that allows us to be aware of each other here together.
Thank you. Do others of you want to speak to this idea of what we're doing here as public health? Rebecca.
I mean, I thought that I saw that comment before the show started and I thought, oh man, that's really great. And I guess, I don't know that this is any great comment, but I was sitting here between scenes and just thinking like, man, this is just such a great play. I mean, it's just great, and it's always been great and it keeps being great. And I think theater is public health but also it's nature, all my life I've been hearing, oh, theater is dying, theater is dead, and you really can't keep it down. And this play is a good example of that because it's so old and it keeps coming back and we keep laughing at it in the same ways and relating to it in the same ways. And it just has so much in it. And it makes me feel more alive and more healthy to get together and tell the story in whatever way we can. And it is totally weird to do it this way. But you can't keep it down. It just keeps happening and we'll just keep if there's a wall, we'll sort of grow over it. And I think of theater as a big, forest that just keeps encroaching. You keep cutting it back, but it keeps growing. So, I mean, I feel better. Thanks for making this happen.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Sure.
I can add to that. I think one of Shakespeare's geniuses is how he unearths and examines the human condition. And it's something in live theater that we can explore together, audience and the creators of the theater alike at the same time. And so not being able to do that in a period of what is crisis is
is difficult. Not being able to examine what the community is going through and experience that as a community. So it's this odd medium. It's really interesting to see us doing that this way.
It is. Thank you, Tommy.
I was,
Julia?
I was thinking about this right at the beginning when we were talking about this, Linda. Shakespeare wrote during a pandemic. There were more than one wave of the bubonic plague during his writing career, which is a pretty short writing career. And in fact, towards the end of his writing life was when there was a really bad year in London. And it was also a really productive time for him as an artist. And this play was not written then. This play was actually written at a different moment, a lighter moment. But I think this is not the first moment, sort of as Melody was saying, that there was a threat against the arts, right? It was probably pretty darn dangerous to gather people in a theater during the plague, and yet, quite crazily they did. Just as, what I also do for a living, which is I'm engaged in ritual. These acts, theater ritual, are live, performed, mutually shared acts that are about embodiment and raising up beauty, raising up something that's larger than ourselves, calling on our better angels. I do think we need it. We need it. And so whether in church world or in theater world, people are now trying to figure it out, because we're not going to go a year without making art. And so here we are.
And here we are. We do have a couple of questions from our audience, and so it's so nice to engage with them. I want to make sure we put those into the room here. From Molly Gottwalls.
Molly.
Thank you, Molly. Everybody say hi. Everybody say hi. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Malvolio. How and why he's treated as he is, and how this sits with his humanity, and how and what is reflected about others in their treatment of him. She was worried about you, Jeffrey.
Oh, that's sweet. I think that I just noted, I don't know this play as well as some of the other people on this panel do, so you guys should chime in. I just did notice in our rehearsals and readings that I think Shakespeare writes in some vulnerability when Malvolio imagines that he is loved. He effectively goes insane, because that's not been part of his world. It's not something that he imagined. He only, I think, thinks in terms of status and what he's, his function is. So there's for a second to imagine that he's a human being with dreams and fantasies is almost too shattering to the mindset. Granted, he is excited about the notion of becoming Count Malvolio, but I do like to think that there is something more in his journey than that. But I don't know what else it says. Anybody else got an idea?
Do we just talk?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Go, Rebecca.
This isn't me. This was a teacher of mine or a director who once was talking about Twelfth Night and saying that, like, you can't understand the jokes in this play, or you can't understand this play without understanding that it's about class in this very, very strong way, and that, like, the only reason we're supposed to laugh at Malvolio is that he thinks he's above his station, and when he believes that he's more than he is, that's what's so ridiculous about him. And you're implicated in it when you laugh at him, that, like, the whole plot won't make sense unless you subscribe to this idea of, like, who is the lighter people and who's not, and, like, when Toby is above him, and then when he gets so excited when he thinks Toby's going to be below him and he can tell him off, and all that stuff. So for what that's worth, that was in my head.
Yeah, I think also, like, Shakespeare, like any great storyteller, is invested in what it means to have a world in balance and what it means to have a world out of balance. And there's that wonderful quick exchange between Olivia and Malvolio at the beginning where Feste kind of lands a punch and Malvolio's like, he sucks. And Olivia says this beautiful text that's, oh, you are sick of self-love, Malvolio, and taste with a distempered appetite, right? And like there's this idea that like that you, if you go too far in one direction, you get sour. And it could be in any direction. If you go too far out of balance, you get sour. And Shakespeare, it seems to me, is very, very engaged with bringing back into balance. And what's intriguing about what happens in this play is that it's way overboard, right? Like the punishment does not fit the crime in this, to me anyway. Like it seems like Toby and Mariah and et al. Go way too far, and it gets cruel and it's awful, sort of. And it always, you know, like, I mean, Julia knows this. I've played Olivia so much. I played Olivia in college, and then I came to Olivia. It was my first professional acting job at OHA. Thank you for my equity card. And then like to come back to her years later, it's like, it's so delicious. But there is always this love, this care for Malvolio. Like there is a genuine care. He shouldn't assume that means I want to sleep with him, nor should Orsino. You know what I mean? Like none of these men get to sleep with a woman just because they like her. This is an important lesson in this play. But also Malvolio is a human being and he does deserve care. And I don't know, Molly, to your question, I don't know, it's a rich topic to explore in this play. But I do think it has a lot to do with being out of balance and seeking balance.
Lovely, thank you all. And actually just picking up on something that Rebecca mentioned, and you too, Melody, we have another question. This one's coming to us from Carol Richards. Thank you, Carol. We can all say hello, hello. Carol says, we were struck by how weirdly, kind of watching in this way, this Zoom way, made certain lines more clear than ever before. What do you think, all of you, are the benefits of living in a world of Zoom theater? Do you see yourself wanting to do this past the pandemic? Universal symbol for no.
Everybody unmute at once and answer that question.
No, thank you.
All right, Rachel's got it. Yeah.
I mean, I may be the I may be the lone person here. I don't think it replaces live theater at all, the way some critics have talked about that this is some kind of future adaptation of live theater. I do think in its kind of simple, raw way and necessary way in terms of the public health, you know? I mean, I've been in a bubble for 4 months only with my dog, seeing no one. And you can get a vibe from Zoom. Also, you get to see, we didn't do so much of it tonight, but if we left everybody on screen all the time, that's the way I've done a lot of the Zoom readings that I've done. It's fascinating because you get to choose, like you do in theater, watching people react and live, even on screen. I know it's not ideal, but nothing's quite ideal for the last 4.5 months. I want to see it as its own form in a way, because I think it accesses people that can't go out, and I think that's a wonderful thing. So I don't know, I'm into the Zoom as its own thing, you know.
Okay, oh, sorry. let me and I'll get back to you. No, I was just thinking that Zoom certainly has its pros, I think, and I've seen a few things that are that I think Zoom does really well in. Like if you had, I've noticed in my own experience that certain types of play development is good for Zoom, like especially like sort of heady, talky plays. I think that those work pretty well. Like depending on what a playwright really wants to see and hear. In terms of just having, when you're in a desert, for me, when you're in a desert and someone gives you a cracker it tastes like the best cracker you've ever had, you know? And that's where we are right now for myself, is that this is the cracker. So
but it also makes you remember how thirsty you are.
yeah, and you're thirsty. Yeah, exactly. It's so true. And so it's a confirmation to me that theater is not going to die because we're just going to figure out some way, shape, or form of doing it. You know, like it's like the little engine that could. But I will definitely be looking forward to being in a room with all of you, because there's nothing that can really beat, you know.
Thank you, Bari. Thank you, everybody. There is this odd intimacy to this. Like there's this lack of intimacy. We're not in the same room, but we're closer to you. You know, we're in these close-ups all the time. So one of the things I've noticed from doing these events, and I think what Carol is pointing out, is that we get this closeness that we didn't necessarily get if you're on a stage out there. I mean, sometimes we do, depending on how it's staged, but there's a little bit of less distance and more distance, the screen distance and then the not. So I really appreciate Carol and others have mentioned that you could really get the language tonight, because that's really important to us. And I want to thank you actors for just doing, and Julia for doing a terrific job with that language, because it was beautiful and it really hardly felt like a reading, guys, like with only 12 hours of rehearsal. I mean, this was pretty remarkable. This was full-bodied, full out there.
And I want to say one other thing. I mean, first of all, these are masterful artists of language. I mean, like truly. But I agree with you, Carol. I was hearing lines, and I know this play pretty well. I was hearing lines tonight that I was like, I don't remember ever hearing that. Probably because I staged some crap on top of it that obscured it, you know. I mean, there's a way in which you all got really clear with your storytelling, and we kind of cleared away all the other stuff, and that was really exquisite. I would not want to make a life of Zoom theater, but boy, it is a great moment to explore how to tell a story in a really concise, clear way. And it was a joy to watch you all do.
I got so carried away with hearing this play on the third rehearsal, hearing it, that I didn't turn my pages.
Yeah.
And I got lost. And all those words on a page looked the same, but they were so alive on this screen, in these little boxes, that I got lost, you know? So I loved it.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome. That's actually perfect, Rachel. That's perfect for my last question for the evening. I did want to mention, Melody, thank you for mentioning that we have done Twelfth Night before, long ago, 18 years ago now.
19.
In 2002, 19 years ago. It was the second Shakespeare in Stonington ever. And Julia directed, and Melody was in it, and Jeffrey, yeah? No, not Jeffrey. Yeah, so, I mean, it was a long time ago. We've been doing Shakespeare a long time here.
Together.
What I would love to do a go round. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on this last question. Just a quick thought, just a really quick go round, so we can, and we'll close up for the evening. But per Rachel's last comment there, for you, what was the most live moment tonight? What felt most live to you? Let's start with Jonathan, and we'll just kind of, Jonathan, hand off to the next person.
It had to be when I was screwing around with Malvolio with the pronunciation of top ass, which it just came up, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep going with it. And you were just bouncing back and forth, and I was like, oh, you know, like we didn't talk about it, we didn't do it. And I was like, he's either gonna hate me or it's gonna be okay. So thanks for playing with me.
Lovely. Hand off to somebody, Jonathan.
The incredibly generous Jeffrey, then.
Oh my lord. Yeah, I think that whole scene where I was just like, I got glasses on and a thing, and I'm trying to figure out how to read my script. The thing about this, I think, format and about the Shakespeare thing is like, I can't get too sucked into what is character or anything too esoteric, but I have to sing. I get these beautiful lines, and I have to, you breathe and you let it happen. And then what's most moving is then when you hear it and you're like, oh my God, what a cool line that was that I just heard or I just said. So actually the immediacy of hearing it to me is a beautiful live thing. Oh my God. Maria.
I think it's the music. I haven't heard it full out until tonight. And it just, every time it came up, I was like, oh, this is a little concert that you put together. It's amazing. Like, it so fleshed out the story for me. And it was such a joy to listen to. And it also brings out the sadness of the show too, which I've always connected to. The rain, it raineth every day. So thank you for that. And thank you everyone. And my dear Melody, my OHA compatriot, thank you for bringing me into this family.
Oh my goodness. There's a question from Bob in the chat about how difficult it is to rehearse remotely, and I feel like I can put that question together with Linda's. This act of connecting over distance is so profound and quite moving as I think about it. Like, I have all of the actors in this cast, except for Jonathan and Ari, I think I have acted with in a production, at least one, in the past. And the depth of love that I feel for my peers, my companions in this work is really profound. And I've been thinking a lot about how actors are the professional athletes of empathy, and how we all right now need, all of us, even people who aren't actors, need to be developing those muscles, because we are kept apart by necessity. And so for me, the aspect of both the thing that's hard and the thing that's alive is that active reaching from the heart to these people in little boxes, and to the people in the audience all around the country watching, that action that actors do instinctively of an offer, of a reach, of a desire to connect that comes from the heart. I feel like throughout this evening of reading, in every one of these scenes, I felt myself doing that, and I felt it coming back to me. Maybe I'm imagining, I don't know. But I feel like that act of active empathy is what can save us right now. And it was very present for me tonight. So thanks, everyone. I will hand it to the great Rebecca Hart.
And I mean, what she said, first of all, but personally, I feel like I finally understand the Willow Cabin speech, which was really a gift. I feel like I've been working on that on and off for a really long time. And this morning I was going over it and I was like, you know what, screw it. It's a really famous speech. That's all I can think when I do it. I don't really know where it comes from or what it means. Whatever, I'm just not gonna think about it. And then when we got there, I finally was like, oh, before she does it, Olivia goes on and on about how great Orsino is. And Viola was like, I know, he's so great. Oh my God, I would make a willow cabin at his gate, and it was super emotional. So that was a gift. And also when I was off screen, I laughed my ass off at the box tree scene, because there's always this amazing thing where you're doing, this is a rehearsal, an answer to the rehearsal question too, you're doing the rehearsal and you're clumping it together and everybody's I don't know, how this badge basically. And then something happens and everybody comes to life and there's this hilarious scene where people are hiding and coming. and showing themselves and yelling peace, peace to each other. And it was just very charming, and I had a good time. So Tommy, your turn.
Yeah, that's fun. I have to say that one of my favorite things about live theater and the beauty of it and the greatest moments that come from it are always when something goes wrong. And so to answer to your question, the most live moment is when Rachel got lost and she is calling out for Toby from 3,000 miles away. And we are in these boxes and I can't, bring her out and how do we handle that in this situation is amazing. And so I love how everybody's senses have to heighten in that moment when something goes wrong. How do we fix this? How do we get out of this? How do we navigate our way back into where we're supposed to be, and then let something new happen? So I always think that that's fascinating. I've had many of those moments on the OHA stage, and I'm glad to see that they can happen on the Zoom OHA stage as well. But if I wanted to be more serious and erudite, I would say one of the great moments I've found in this play and grown to love just in the past 2 days is when Sir Andrew, who I'm stealing all of his money and taking advantage of him, making fun of him throughout the play, just being mean, really mean the whole time, and at the very end he's the one that says, "I'll help you," and that is you smacking you around for months. You're gonna help me. That's just kind of revelatory. That's amazing. So I think Toby might have learned something for one.
Tommy, can you call in somebody who hasn't answered Linda's question yet?
I can. Thank you for the reminder. Let's go to Barry.
Oh, yeah. This has all been so great to hear from everyone. There are a couple moments that stand out to me when, even in rehearsals, is whenever Rachel Murdy would laugh as Andrew Aguecheek. It's just like the best thing ever. I always laugh. It's so good. But there's also it's been a really great experience for me because I haven't acted with Rebecca for over a decade now, and we're so old, and and it's just been to be able to do our scenes together has just been extremely gratifying, and it made me miss being in the room with you and being able to actually do this thing. So I am so grateful to have that experience too. So that's what stands out for me. Let's see. Ari, my man.
Hey, thanks, Barry. Always getting into trouble and stuff.
Always.
No, man, this was a gift. It honestly was. It's an absolute gift to be able to do this. Especially because the majority of you I've never been on stage with, and now that's all I want to do. I just want to get on stage with all of you and create something. It'd be so amazing. But I want to say for me, both I think the most live moment, there's two that I always think about, so I'm gonna do two because I fool myself or something. No, I love every time in the scene when Andrew Aguecheek, Rachel just pops up and goes, "That's me." It's just like that moment. I feel like I was watching it on stage every time. Just imagine where could she pop out of, and it was always so exciting to me. It was always really fun. And the other moment is just watching Rebecca be Sebastian and Viola in that one scene, and just still somehow make me go, "Oh yeah, that's Sebastian," even when I'm not looking at my screen. Yeah, he's talking. Oh, and that's Viola. This is great. And so it was always exciting for me because I'm like, that is a hard thing to do. We gotta do it. We're doing it. We're just making it happen. So awesome to me. So awesome. Hey, Murdy.
I'll pass it on to you. I think you haven't spoken.
Oh, I mean, I already sort of started. I mean, that was my favorite thing to get lost. It was kind of terrifying, and I was hanging out there for so long, and I wish I hadn't. But I did. I mean, I felt so Andrew. It was just all about Sir Toby. It's all about Sir Toby. And when we're talking about class, yes, but I think it's submitting to love. I think it's about what would I do for love. And love is misunderstood, and sometimes love is not requited, and that these moments of missing each other are just so delicious. I think Jeffrey is the, we said this before, that these productions at OHA are the seminal productions, like they are the productions of these plays. I think Jeffrey, well, I'm ready to do this again, but the Malvolio, I've seen Jeffrey play all kinds of characters, and tonight, I have to say, the monologue, that is hard. That is, you know, a bad word. And he did it. I was like not faking it. I'm watching him work through it. It was so beautiful. M-O-A-I, what? Like, that's impossible to do.
Jeffrey, at one point I thought, gosh, I hope your students are watching. Jeffrey's a professor of acting and other things, but you know, I was like, golly, I hope they're watching him work. You ought to assign that.
We need to wrap it up here because it's actually quite late here in Maine. It is after 10, which means it's after 1 a.m. our time, because Maine midnight is 9 o'clock, as we all know and remember. But I want to give a special shout out to Jonathan, because we haven't had a chance to really talk about the music, all of which he wrote in like a week, maybe, yeah? So thank you, Jonathan, for that extra special sauce. That really made a difference for all of us watching it. And then I just wanted to say, Julia, do you want to have the last word?
Oh man, thank you all. Most of these folks got a text from me like, I don't know, 10-ish days ago, and threw yourselves in so fully in a way that just reminded me of why I will never fully have left this part of my life behind, even though I'm doing other things as my primary vocation now. Athletes of empathy, Melody, you are indeed, so I'm forever grateful, and really, really, really grateful. Also, Opera House Arts has created a magical space for so many of us to do work, good, hard, weird work, and it's just great to know we can plug right back in and continue to do that. You know, the best audiences in America are in Maine, and tonight, and a few other places, because I could see who is attending.
That's right. That's
and
right.
by the way, attendees who are still with us, who are still fairly a number, we spanned, I think, 6 states in this panel, and say what you want about Zoom, that's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you. Thank you, Shakespeare.
What
Thank
about
you,
Jen behind that OHA square?
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Rachel. Hey, hey, Jen, Caster, would you actually flip on your camera? Would you do that for us? Yay! Now the square is complete.
Yes, indeed.
So, the person who asked about rehearsing, by the way, I mean, rehearsing also involves some really weird things, like Jen having to kick me out of rehearsal so I could see it as an audience member, and then I would text her notes or have to interrupt to unmic, but they couldn't see my faces. Like, there was a lot of very strange ways that we had to do this, and even tonight she was kicking me in and out, and we were texting on the side. It was very live in a whole different way for us, right, Jen?
It sure was. It was.
You're amazing.
Well, wonderful experience. Thanks for bringing me in.
Thank you all, and I hope, we all hope that this special magical place will always be your artistic home in some way, that we will all continue to come together here, that we will all bring all these people from all across the country and the world together, because that is the wonderful thing about Zoom, is it's given us increased access to each other and to all this wonderful audience. So that's one great thing about it, in addition to the other things. And we're very grateful to be here on stage with you all tonight. So thank you. Sleep well, well-deserved rest. Big
See you all at the
applause.
cast party.
Thank you, audience. Thank you for being with us and hanging with us. And we hope we'll see you again, whether in the Zoom room or somewhere else soon.